From Kern Government Television, welcome to this week's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting. Originating from the Kern County Administrative Center, located at 1115 Truxtun Avenue in Bakersfield, California. Grounded in ideas, energy, and innovation, Kern County's vision is to be a driving force for the world's 5th largest economy, and our mission is to exceed expectations of the communities we serve, changing the way they feel about government, those who manage it, and the services it provides. Today's Board of Supervisors meeting will convene momentarily.
Okay. Meeting is adjourned. The 2 p.m. board session, regular board session of the October 21 Kern County Board of Supervisors is back in session after our 9 a.m. session and also our closed session that we are just returning from. So welcome to you. Thank you for being here. There are agendas at the back of the room for those of you wishing to follow along. We'll begin with a roll call, please. Madam Clerk.
Supervisor Peters?
Here.
Supervisor Parlier?
Here.
Supervisor Flores?
Here.
Supervisor Couch?
Here.
Supervisor Price?
Here. At this time, we will receive a report on actions taken in closed session by our Madam County Counsel.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. This morning, following the AM agenda, your board met in closed session on items 40 through 42. There are no reportable actions.
Thank you very much. We're going to move on to our consent matters. Consent matters are listed with a capital C, capital A, and they are considered routine and non-controversial by county staff and the county family apparatus. But of course, if a member of the public feels otherwise, after I list them, we'd ask that you please come down and give us your input or insight as we consider action on the consent agenda. Consent matters begin on page 2. They include item 3 on page 2. On page 3, all items listed 4 through 6. On page 4, items 7 through 8 and items 11 through 12. However, on item 7, we have a small amendment removing items 7B, 7D, and 7K from Exhibit A for a new amount of $334,374.13. That's an amendment on consent agenda item number 7. The other matters will remain on consent unless otherwise noted. That would be item 8 and, of course, items 11 and 12. On page 5, items 13 through 15, as well as 19 and 20. On page 6, all items listed 21 through 25. On page 7, all items listed 26 through 32. On page 8, all items listed 33 through 39. On page 9, all items listed 40 through 47. Are there any members of the public who would like to comment, ask question on matters or questions on matters on the consent agenda? Those are items listed with the capital C, capital A, traditionally routine. Okay, seeing no interest in the public in commenting or questioning on consent matters, I'll close the public hearing, return to my colleagues for comment, question, or action.
Motion on consent.
We have 3 motions, and we need a second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Supervisor Couch, for your second. Please cast your votes, gentlemen.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Okay. We're going to move now to public presentations. Public presentations are for matters that are not on today's specific agenda, but are within the jurisdiction of the Board of Supervisors. Ask as you come forward, please state and spell your name for the record, and they ask that you stay within the 2-minute time allocation that we traditionally give during this period. It's not a perfect system, but we do ask for your grace in that process and ask for your consideration. You will hear a bell that begins to go off at the 2-minute mark. We don't mean to be rude, but we like to be consistent in the application of that allocation. So please come forward. Public presentations, please state and spell your name for the record. Welcome and good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. Good afternoon to the supervisors. My name is Charles Shin, S-H-I-N-N. I'm a retired Marine, concerned citizen. I would like to take just a moment to raise 2 members in our group, raise their names up, Ralph Robles and Pamela Reese, that those who believe in a gracious God, a healing God, that they would make them healthy and so that they can continue this march we're on. And I just wanted to mention their names in public.
Is Ralph in the hospital?
No, Ralph is unable to attend, though.
Okay.
And Pamela is going through some challenges.
I'm aware of Pam's situation, but thank you so much for that, Charles.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
it. We'll keep them in our prayers. Thank you, brother. Okay, hello and welcome. Good afternoon. I recognize you.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, Supervisors. My name is Cornelio Corny Rodriguez, C-O-R-N-Y R-O-D-R-I-G-U-E-Z. And today I am here with a group of individuals that are going to make some comments, and I'd like to give my time to Judge Robert Tafoya. I support his comments. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome. If you could state your name for the record, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Robert Tafoya, T-A-F-O-Y-A. I am a retired judge. I ask that this board take a neutral position on Proposition 50 and let the voters decide for themselves whether or not to support or to oppose it. I am urging you to rescind your recent vote along party lines to oppose Proposition 50. You are all required to be nonpartisan office holders. Therefore, the board should not have engaged in this highly political issue. The appropriate response was to take no position to oppose or support the passage of Proposition 50. What you do as individuals is certainly your right. However, there was no input from your constituents to take any position as the Board of Supervisors regarding Proposition 50. This is not a fight between Republicans and Democrats. This is a fight between Americans who want to preserve our democracy by maintaining free and fair elections and those who favor an undemocratic government. Recent efforts in Texas to set new congressional district lines were prompted by the White House, not local voters. This is a direct attack on our democracy. The intended effect of such gerrymandering is to influence the results of next year's upcoming national congressional elections. The Texas legislature clearly has rigged its election rules to favor one party's representation in Washington. Like Vladimir Putin's Russia or Nicolas Maduro's Venezuela and other autocratic governments, if the election results of the 2026 congressional elections are predetermined due to manipulation of election laws, then our democracy is dead. Those states that promote free and fair elections, like California, will have their influence reduced if they do not take similar steps in response. It's akin to taking a knife to a gunfight. The situation is unprecedented. Voting is a right Americans have died for in order to maintain a legitimate representative democracy. Free speech, the right to assemble, and the right to a free press depend on the right to vote. The unprecedented efforts by Texas and other states to rig the 2026 elections have triggered a redistricting arms race with monumental nationwide consequences. Such measures may leave affected voters with no other option but to express their discontent in the streets. And this scenario may lead to unwanted political violence. The Voting Rights Act of 1965 was passed in response to such activity. Proposition 50 permits California to meet the threat to democracy in a like manner to those states that do not favor independent redistricting commissions. So when one state essentially brings a gun to a knife fight, other states are left with no choice but to defend their voters in a like manner. The fate of America is in our hands. Until all states create competitive districts that do not unfairly favor one political party over another, measures like Proposition 50 become an indispensable line of defense against this attack on free and fair elections. This nonpartisan board's public stand has made Proposition 50 a partisan issue. So I ask you, can we count on you to make this a nonpartisan matter and allow the voters to decide their future. Thank you for your time.
Please hold it. Please hold your applause, guys. Please. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate your passion, but you're going to get me in a lot of trouble if we have applause and have disruptions in the chambers. And I'm so sorry to have to say that, but we do make every attempt to be fair and consistent across the board. And thank you, Judge Tafoya. Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez, for submitting your time to Judge Tafoya. Thank you. I appreciate you very much, but I will ask, please, to hold your applause, and this is really not the setting for applause, and I'm so sorry to have to say that. And thank you for being here. Thank you for your passion. Good afternoon, sir, and welcome.
I'm fine with your applause. Mark Martinez, M-A-R-T-I-N-E-Z. I want to state from the beginning that I'm not here speaking for myself. What I'm going to say is it's not me speaking, it's history speaking. What we're seeing today is something that we've seen before. I'm not going to go into any details because we've only got 2 minutes. I saw how fast it goes here. But I want to direct you to this book that was written by a former professor of mine at UC Santa Barbara, The Making of a Stormtrooper. Leticia, I know you were UC Santa Barbara, maybe you had him. He was born in Germany in 1932 and he passed away last year. He wrote well over 40 books, I think more like 52, and including this one. And what he wrote in this is that about his experience as a young child through World War II, and I think he was about 14 or 15 when World War II ended. But the point here is that Dr. Merkel documents what happened in Germany and what happened to the German people and what inspired what he called the bloodhounds of the Nazi movement. And let's be very blunt here. What's happening in America today has happened before. It's literally there for you to read in black and white. This is an ugly experience that we're learning about here and we're learning about today. But before he passed, Dr. Merkel and I spoke about his experiences in Nazi Germany and the parallels that he sees today. Specifically, my former professor made it clear that the Nazis used fear and lies to manipulate and undermine democracy. And this was their primary goal, but they also used fear and those who might soil our bloodlines, we've heard this before, to help convince Germany it was okay to raid and remove the gypsies, to remove the Jews, to remove the blood-diluting illegals and the immigrants. And today what we're watching as people are stripped of their rights is their right to vote with this gerrymandering Proposition 50 that California has designed to help fight what's happening in places like Texas. But more importantly, we're watching as people are stripped of their due process rights. I can't believe what I'm seeing in the streets when people are simply denied their due process rights that we've always had in this country. And it applies to everybody, regardless of whether you're a citizen or not.
Dr. Martinez.
Yeah.
I've got to ask you to bring your comments to a close. Thank you.
What I'm going to say is that if you haven't read it, read Diary of a Young Girl, written by Anne Frank, and she will explain in her book all of the things we're seeing in this country happen today. And it's a very ugly experience, and I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. Who is next? Please.
Do you think that we could go next just because we have a mobility issue?
Please come forward. And thank you for your patience. Welcome and good afternoon. Please state and spell your name for the record.
I will be speaking briefly first, and then I will turn it over to Sarah. My name is Cassandra Carlson. I'm going to be switching the tone a little bit and topic. I'm a board-certified behavior analyst with Autism Behavior Services. We provide in-home and clinic-based applied behavior analysis services to children with autism in Kern County. I've had the pleasure of meeting Supervisor Flores before he visited our clinic on coffee. But I am here today to raise some awareness related to issues that we've been having, as well as other providers in the area with Kern Family Health. There have been a large increase in denials, which have caused service interruptions to our families. I'd like to read a statement by a family that I work with who could not be here today due to chronic health issues. My name is Kelly Jacobs, mother to Rachel and Sarah. Most parents are unprepared for the journey that begins with their bright children when they stop responding to their name, begin lining up toys, or struggle to connect with others. For families like ours, ABA providers become a lifeline. My daughter Sarah, who is autistic, was prematurely cut off from services before she was ready. These services through Kern Family have been a cornerstone of her progress. With ABA, Sarah has learned to manage her emotions and express how she feels, skills that took years to build. But progress does not mean that she was ready to abruptly stop. Transitions are especially hard for children with autism, and sudden interruptions can be devastating. As a parent with complex medical needs, the appeal process was not possible for me, as is true for many others. Denials take away more than services. They remove a vital connection that supports daily living. So Kern Family has acknowledged this issue and has actively met with my clinical team to try to come up with resolutions. Unfortunately, while these are appreciated efforts, they have not yielded any results, and our families are still seeing mass denials and interruptions to these services. So we remain hopeful and committed to working together to make sure that all of the members, our most sensitive members of Kern County, can receive the support they deserve. Thank you. And this is a member that we work with who 2 of her children were denied care. If we could be cognizant of the fact that she is vision impaired, it might take her a little bit longer to read her statement.
Of course. Thank you for your assistance.
And my name is Sarah, S-A-R-A, last name Gilbert, G-I-L-B-E-R-T.
Hi, Ms. Gilbert, welcome.
Thank you. Give me a moment to get it close.
No problem, take your time.
And I use magnifying glasses as well. Hi, or is that my name? I am a parent of 2 wonderful children, Xander and Zoe, Z-A-N-D-E-R, and Z-O-E-Y. Those are my children's names, who receive ABA services through Kern Family Health. We rely on ABA for support with behaviors and challenges related to autism, ADHD, and visual impairments. All 4 of us are legally blind. My partner and I are also visually impaired, who makes consistent access to ABA services absolutely essential for our family's stability. Our children's growth, ABA therapy has been life-changing for our children. Through ABA, they have developed communication skills and social skills and learned to better manage frustrations and transitions. The ABA team provides hands-on support that helps bridge the gap between our children's needs and our own limitations as visually impaired parents. Recently, both Xander and Zoe were abruptly denied services, which has had an immediate impact. When services are interrupted, are canceled unexpectedly, our children lose the structure they depend on to thrive. These disruptions lead to regression and behaviors, and return communication decreases, and safety becomes a serious concern both at home and in the community. The impact is immediate and severe, not only for our children, but for us as caregivers who rely on ABA to maintain stability. We ask that coverage for ABA services continue without interruption. For our family, and these supporters are not just therapeutic, they are essential to our children's progress and our ability to provide them with the care they deserve. They thank you for your time and your dedication to helping families like ours. Thank you so much. We appreciate you listening to us today.
Thank you, Ms. Gilbert. I have a couple supervisors who want to comment. Supervisor Peters.
Thank you. I appreciate you both being here today. This is an issue that I wasn't familiar with, but I'm not sure exactly what we can do to help, but I would be more than happy to meet with you and see what we can do to navigate that. I've got a staff member that'll flag you guys down on your way out and get your contact info, and I'd be happy to see what we can do to help out.
I appreciate that so much. I know Supervisor Flores, I believe you've already been in contact with some of my company, but the more awareness we can bring, the better. We do have two of our technicians who do one-on-one work who would love to share some anecdotes about why we're so passionate about this. But again, we very much appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
It is a beautiful facility doing great work. And so I did reach out to Emily Duran, the CEO of Kern Health Systems, who has been in contact. I think your discussions are ongoing. So I'm optimistic that they'll see a resolution. I don't know what caused the disruptions and the denials, but you've been doing great work. We want to see that continue. Our board, we don't run Kern Health Systems, an independent body, of course. It's a managed care plan for Medi-Cal. But we do appoint members to that board. So I'm going to work with our board members and the CEO.
I just recently learned about the Kern Health Board, I believe on Thursday, so I'm gearing up to go to that one as well, which would be a little bit more direct.
Okay.
But, you know, voices heard and all.
Thank you.
We appreciate your time.
Thank you. And Supervisor Parlier.
Ditto to my colleagues' statements, and my staff member Paul is back there too, if you want to communicate with him also.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate all of communication. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here. Thank you, Ms. Gilbert.
Thank you.
Okay. We did make accommodation there for the obvious reasons, but we will head back to our timer again as we customarily do in these chambers. Sir, welcome. Good afternoon. Please state and spell your name for the record.
Good afternoon. My name is Samuel Duran, SAMUELDURAN, and I am a behavior therapist with the Autism Behavior Services, Inc. I've been with ABSI for a little over 3 years now, and in that time, I've had the privilege of working directly with many children and families affected by autism. I specifically chose this field because I truly believe in the power of ABA, not just as a therapy, but as a life-changing support system. Every day I get to witness progress that many families once thought was impossible, whether it's a child learning to communicate their needs for the first time or gaining independence in simple daily routines. Those moments remind me why this work matters so much. I feel a deep sense of accomplishment knowing that what we do helps improve lives, not just for the clients, but for their families as well. Recently, I received a message from one of the parents I've been working with that really stayed with me. She said, "I am truly thankful to you and ABSI for everything that you have done for my son. In just the last 6 months that you have been working with him, I have seen drastic changes in his behavior and communication with us. Being able to hear my son call me mom truly means the world. Thank you." That one sentence, hear my son call me mom, captures the essence of what ABA services can do. It's not just about data or treatment hours, it's about human connection, growth, and giving families hope. When coverage for ABA therapy is denied, these children and family lose access to the consistent evidence-based care that helps them thrive. I hope that moving forward, we can work together to ensure these families continue to receive the support they desperately need and deserve. Thank you for your time and listening.
Thank you for what you do, sir. Thank you. Okay, next speaker. Please state and spell your name for the record, and welcome. Good afternoon to you.
Thank you. My name is Samantha Jimenez, SAMANTHA.
Hi, Samantha.
Jimenez is JIMENEZ. Thank you. Good afternoon, Board of Supervisors. Thank you for your time. I'm also here for the same reason, to bring awareness to the coverage denials. So I just want to share a little bit about my experience. I've been working in the field of behavior and applied behavior analysis, ABA, for the past 2.5 years. And that time, I've had the privilege of witnessing children on the autism spectrum achieve milestones that many of us take for granted, like asking for what they need, advocating for themselves by responding yes or no to questions, or learning to use the restroom independently. I'll never forget the moment one of my clients, after months of consistent therapy, walked up to a peer, said hello, shared his name, and asked for theirs. That moment, although simple, was a breakthrough that came from countless hours of structured learning, patience, and compassionate care. And it's moments like these that remind me why this work matters so deeply. ABA changes lives. It gives children the tools to better connect with their world and the people around them. That's why I'm here alongside some of our families, because recent coverage denials by Kern Family Healthcare have deeply impacted the lives of several of our clients, including one of my own. For a child on the spectrum, structure and routine are not just helpful, they are essential. Unexpected breaks in therapy due to administrative changes or delays can cause confusion, regression, and emotional stress that may take months to rebuild from. One of my clients, who has made tremendous progress over the last year, is now facing disruption in their therapy schedule. We have carefully built a routine together that supports language development, social interaction, and daily living skills. Without access to this care and this routine, that progress is now at risk. We're grateful to hear that these issues are being addressed, but I urge you to consider the urgency from our side. We hope Kern Family Healthcare continues working towards solutions that prioritize consistency and timely access to care for our kids. Thank you for your time and listening to the voices of the community you serve.
Thank you, Ms. Jimenez. Okay, next, please state and spell your name for the record. Welcome and good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Charlotte, Charlotte, O'Brien, O''B''RIEN.
Great name.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you and to the people who have taken the time to be here to address this incredibly important moment. We are on the brink of dismantling everything our founding fathers and mothers stood for and stood against during the birth of our nation. Whether we know it or not, many of us are connected to our founding fathers and mothers. My mother was a Ross. Through Ancestry.com, I found out that our ancestors were pivotal in the birth of our nation. My fourth great-grandfather was Alexander Ross. He was a soldier in the Revolutionary War. His brother was John Ross. John Ross's wife was Betsy Ross. Yes, that Betsy Ross.
Wow. What a legacy.
John Ross died fighting against King George and centuries of tyranny. Alexander and John's uncle was George Ross. George Ross was the last signer of the Declaration of Independence. We're all more connected than we realize to those who've made this country the preeminent country, not only in its infancy, but today. Our ancestors cared deeply about their fledgling country. It's now up to us to care deeply about our country and what it stands for today. It's up to us to honor and channel our ancestors, those true patriots, and to stand up against those who are abandoning the most important words ever uttered: of the people, for the people, by the people. Governor Newsom is asking us to vote. President Obama is asking us to vote yes. Please do not allow the most profound words of one of the most beloved presidents on both sides of the aisle, Abraham Lincoln, to perish from this earth. If you vote no, you're voting against the people, all the people. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I really appreciate all of your respect from the crowd. Thank you so much. Please come forward. Please state and spell your name for the record.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Balwinder Joshan, Balwinder. My last name Joshan. I'm here today. I got a letter from county. I own property at the corner of Old River and Taft Highway. I had a house on that property which was hit a driver in September 2022, and then house was on fire. And then I've been getting notice from the county, they want me to demo the house. But I was ready to do it, but then district attorney wanted me to hold that house for evidence. because everything was going in court. And then I talked to several times to the inspector at the building department, and I mentioned them. And then we was talking to district attorney. He said, hold, the case is still going, and then don't demo the house. But then this year in January, I went to work and I seen a crane demoing my house. And I went there and I talked to the gentleman who owned the company to demo it. And then I asked him, I said, why are you doing this? He said he got an order from county. I said, but I never got any notice. He pointed me, he said, there is a notice hanging on the pole in property. I never get this 24-hour notice in mail. When county know my mailing address, they've been sending me all my mail and property tax to my mailing address, and they never sent this to me. So I was not aware of it, and now the county billed me $35,000 for demo, and which is not acceptable by me. So I'm requesting.
Thank you. Supervisor Parlier.
Thank you so much, sir. I was just looking at the map right now to see whose district this was in. I think it's mine. So if Paul isn't here, I know he was just handling a constituent issue right beforehand. But if you can go up to suite 502, my staff are there, and please relay, what's going on with you, and I'm going to try and help, okay?
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
502.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, next speaker, please. Welcome. Good afternoon. Nice to see you again.
Madam Chair.
Good afternoon.
Excuse me. I see Paul in the back, sir, so just ping Paul right there. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Parlier. Good afternoon. And welcome.
Good afternoon. My name is Fran Flores. That's F-R-A-N. Flores, F-L-O-R-E-Z. Proud resident of the city of Shafter. I'm here today, and my purpose is to support the request by retired Judge Robert Tafoya. I'm here to show my support, and my second thing is to ask the board to give it a lot of consideration. He's worked very hard with a group of us, and I appreciate all his help, and he's just a wonderful judge, as we all know. But I ask you please to consider his request, and I hope that the outcome will serve the people of this county. Thank you very much.
Nice to see you, Fran. Good afternoon and welcome. Please state and spell your name for the record.
Good afternoon. My name is Mary Helen Barrow, M-A-R-Y-H-E-L-E-N. It's 2 words. It's my first name. My last name is B-A-R-R-O. I live at 201 Jefferson Street, 93305, one of the most beautiful neighborhoods in Kern County. And I'm here because recently my neighbors started calling me. I started getting dizzy and I didn't feel well, and I'm usually very healthy. Turns out they had the water tested. We have over 274 chemicals in our drinking water. Something is wrong. Please investigate. Not only that, I recently had to call the tree service, A1 Tree Service. Some of the branches on my 80-year-old apricot tree and my cherry tree are dying. I'm worried about agriculture in Kern County. If my trees are sick, our trees are going to be sick if they're not already. The groundwater is contaminated according to this tree service. They tested it already. So they're coming to remove the sick branches to try and save my apricot tree and my cherry tree. Okay, so I needed to call your attention to that. Help. That is serious.
Yes, it is.
Okay, I meant to bring a picture, but I didn't have time. And P.S., I support Robert Tafoya and whatever they had to say. Voting is a sacred right in this country. Please protect it for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, Supervisors and Honorable Chairwoman. My name is Fatima Moreno, Fatima-Moreno. Today I'm speaking on behalf of the Kern County Young Democrat leaders. I understand the board has already voted not to support Proposition 50, but I am here today to share why many young people, such as myself, across Kern County believe this measure is crucial in protecting our democracy. Across Kern County, young people are looking for reasons to believe in our democracy. Many of us come from communities that have been underrepresented for too long. Rural towns, working families, immigrant households, and countless other marginalized groups that make our communities great. We've seen what happens when decision makers talk about helping us, but rarely extend that helping hand. That's why Proposition 50 matters. It's not just a policy, it's a step toward a system that listens. We support Proposition 50 because we believe in a transparent and more representative democracy. It's not convoluted, it's what's fair. Kern County's young people are watching. We are engaged, we're informed, and we're ready to lead and speak out. Supporting Proposition 50 is a step toward a democracy that works better for all of us, not just the well-connected few. The few may have some power, but we know the real strength of this country is within all of us. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Good afternoon and welcome. Please state and spell your name for the record.
Maria Mercado, M-A-R-I-A-M-E-R-C-A-D-O.
Welcome.
Thank you, Chairwoman and Mr. Parlier. I am in District 2, and I remember you from the city of Bakersfield, where I worked for Ginny Gennaro and then the Freeways Division, as well as Mr. Couch. Briefly, I'm asking you to let the voters decide on 50 and don't take a stand that's going to divide us. I have family that was born in Cucamonga before it was Rancho Cucamonga and expensive, that got sent back to Mexico, born here, got sent back to Mexico in the 30s as a child. Things happen over and over again. We've made such progress, and the reason that I'm up here today is for my ancestors, for my people who went through what we are going through right now. I'm asking you, as a grandmother, for the future generations, for my granddaughter and grandson, to have as good a life as I did. And I'm begging you, please, please don't take a stand that's going to divide us and make things worse. There were historians and Judge Tafoya, very eloquent people, but I'm asking you, as a mother, as a grandmother, as a citizen, to please consider doing the right thing and letting the voters decide. Don't do that for us. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Please come forward. Welcome. Good afternoon.
Hi, my name is Robert Hooks, H-O-O-K-S.
Welcome.
Actually, I wish I was here to speak on supporting the denial of coverage that I heard about earlier, but actually I'm here to talk about Prop 50. For starters, the blatant lie that Prop 50 is a power grab is categorically wrong. Proposition 50 isn't an act of partisanship, it's a response to partisanship, sort of like blaming the mirror for the reflection. The fact that supposedly nonpartisan group is taking a position on a partisan issue is wrong, but within your rights. but you have an obligation to put forth resolutions that are in the best interest of Kern County. How is letting another state steal our influence in Congress a benefit to Kern County? What is in the interest of Kern County? Proposition 50 can help Kern County support protecting and expanding federal health care funding. Proposition 50 can amplify Latino voting power in helping ensure stronger support for labor protections, real immigration reform, and local infrastructure funding. Proposition 50 can offer the opportunity for greater congressional support for federal infrastructure spending, energy incentives, and drought relief funding that directly benefit Kern's agriculture and oil industries. Lastly, sadly, why are you wasting time with this? If you want to do things that are in the best interest of Kern County, how about dealing with our education gap, housing affordability, homelessness, poverty, pollution, household income, and finding ways for the citizens to benefit from the wealth and prosperity of the agriculture and oil industries that you're so proud of? This resolution isn't leadership, it's a distraction, and it's shameful. Thank you.
Okay, next speaker. Thank you, Mr. Hooks. Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
Okay.
Welcome.
Dr. Thomas Martinez, Professor Emeritus at Cal State, recently retired, is Martinez. Okay, I just want to make a few comments. First, I just want to point out that these are not normal times. It doesn't matter whether you're a Republican, Democrat, or Independent. Being honest about it, you must admit that the White House politics are out of control. The normal standards, the principles of a democratic society are being ignored or torn apart. This is well documented. On January 2nd, 2021, the White House called the Georgia Secretary of State, urging him to just find 11,780 votes to overturn the results of the 2020 election. 4 days later, January 6th, he encouraged a mob of supporters to storm the U.S. Capitol to prevent the joint session of Congress from certifying the 2020 election, to prevent the peaceful transition of power. Now, August 2025, the White House directs Texas to mid-census to redraw 5 congressional districts to gain 5 congressional seats that he says that he is entitled to. We all know that's all wrong. Everyone on this board, everyone in this room understands that this White House has gone too far. It has to be stopped in some form. This is not the way a constitutional democratic society works. Rigging elections, intentionally cutting out the voice of voters in Texas, especially black and brown voters. This is not normal, this is not right. The difference between Texas and California is that in Texas, the legislators did it without public input. They did it behind closed doors. In California, this is being put to the people, to let the people decide. Prop 50 is a temporary but unfortunately a necessary countermeasure to balance things out, to give the people a voice. You are a nonpartisan board of supervisors. Your vote to endorse a no vote on Prop 50 was reported as having occurred along party lines. This board should not take a partisan position on this. You should let the people of Kern County and of California decide. This is not an issue of left and right. This is an issue of right and wrong. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Martinez. Who's next? Please come forward. Please state and spell your name for the record. Welcome and good afternoon.
Thank you. My name is Sister Marie Francis Schrepfer, M-A-R-I-E-F-R-A-N-C-I-S, S-C-H-R-O-E-P-F-E-R. I will be brief. I stand in affirmation of the comments of Judge Tafoya and all of those who also stand in that same affirmation. I would like to add 2 points. Number one, and I say this very respectfully, each of you, when you decided to run for public office, did so because you wanted to serve the needs of Kern County. And it's been said in many ways that the needs of individuals transcends politics. And I would add this comment, that for a board of elected officials to take a political stance can have the effect of eroding public confidence in our elected officials. And that is something that we need much less of and more. And that in itself, when citizens lose confidence in their elected officials, that also contributes to the downgrading of our democratic way of life. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Next speaker, please. Good afternoon and welcome.
Kind of short, so I have to.
That's why
Hi.
it moves.
My name is Francisca Garcia. I became Francisca, Francisca, Garcia, Garcia.
Thank you.
I became a citizen of the United States when I was 18 years old. And that was 55 years ago. If you do the math, I'm 73. I have consistently felt pride in my chosen country of citizenship. I've followed the rules, I've worked, I've been on jury duty. I was a member of the Kern County Grand Jury for 1 year. I was selected to be a member second year. But unfortunately, I resigned due to an intolerable situation with one of the jury members. It saddens me to see her attitude and prejudices displayed by many U.S. citizens today and by many public servants in these times. Please, by many public servants and political figures in these times, please rescind your support of the No on 50. Please maintain your pledge to act as a nonpartisan entity in the county of Kern. Needless to say, I'm also in support of Judge Tafoya. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Garcia. Welcome. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Jeannie Parent, Jeannie Parent. I am also in support of Judge Tafoya and the yes on 50. But that is not the reason I came today. I'm coordinator of Kwesi, Kern Welcoming and Extending Solidarity to Immigrants, and I'm deeply concerned about what's going on in California City at the detention center. And I implore you to get the Public Health Department to do an inspection out there as soon as possible. I have, in fact, I have visited folks out there, and I would also suggest that you visit folks or go visit this facility to see what's really going on behind all the razor wire. So yesterday I visited someone and learned firsthand some of the violations of the performance-based detention standards set by ICE that CoreCivic is engaging in. She has been there over a month and she has yet to get her medication. She has anemia, and even the nurse practitioner that saw her at California City, well, let me reverse. She was transferred from Mesa Verde where she was receiving medication. California City has refused to give her her medication. This is a violation of detention standards. She also is cold because of her condition. They refuse to give her a sweatshirt. They do not provide adequate clothing. If you want a sweatshirt, you have to buy it from the commissary, and the commissary prices are twice those of other facilities. She also said that sanitation is an issue. They gave 5 nail clippers for a unit of 80 people to share, nail clippers. And the yard, which they are only allowed to go to 1 hour, 4 days a week, that's a violation of detention standards. You're supposed to go every day. At Mesa Verde, they went 2 hours a day. The water, some of them were drinking water that then they were told to stop drinking the water out of the faucet because it had lead. So please send the Public Health Department to California City. If you're afraid to shut it down, which needs to be shut down, send out the Public Health Department ASAP. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Parent.
Hello, my name is Indiana Vargas Avellan, Indiana Vargas Avellan, and I'm a current junior at Harvard studying economics, but I also did study government. And I want to talk about how my background coming from Mexico, being born and raised, coming to this country and becoming an American citizen, but also seeing how our democracy today is clearly shifting is something that I'm really worried about. My mother came from Nicaragua, and in the 1970s, she fled her own country because it was overthrown by a communist leader who then came over as a dictator to this day. What I am most worried about is seeing how America is not far off. In America, we seem to believe that we are far off from political corruption, we are far off from becoming the next Venezuela. But as one of my professors said in How Democracies Die, we are actually not far off. We have actually seen how today the traditions underpinning America's democratic institutions are unraveling, opening up as a disconcerting gap between how our political systems work and longstanding expectations about how it ought to work. As our soft guardrails have weakened, we have grown increasingly vulnerable to anti-democratic leaders. I am not asking you today to abandon your own values and what you believe in, but what I'm asking you today is to truly see what it means to be an American. Being an American is not being patriotic towards a political party, but being an American today is feeling a sense of pride and joy, whether you're an immigrant, a woman, a man, no matter where you come from, no matter what you stand for, is coming together and standing for your own rights. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next speaker, please. If you could state and spell your name for the record. Again, thank you to the audience.
My name is Kristen Kraftefer, Krafteher, and I've lost my voice, and I wasn't planning on saying anything today. However, my son is 4 and has a diagnosis of level 2 autism. I thought I was alone in the numerous denials that I was receiving from Kern family. My pediatrician has advocated for my son. Our psychologist has advocated for our son. I have write appeals asking for coverage that my son is entitled to, and they still go unheard. I didn't realize how wide this problem was. Because I'm obviously, unfortunately, only focused on my 4-year-old little boy. So I would like to ask to be a part of whatever the solution may be in that, because my son needs ABA therapy, my son needs community supports, and I didn't realize that in my denials and in his lack of support, others were also standing with me. I believe that God made him my son because I am a fierce fighter. It's sitting here today, hearing other people say that how their children were not served is not right. And so I would like to just say thank you for your help with that.
Well, you have not lost your voice, I assure you that. And I appreciate you being here and advocating for your precious baby. And I know Supervisor Parlier did an excellent job in constituent services. If you would provide your number to the CA's office, somebody, the appropriate person, will be in contact with you. But I promise you we're following up on it, and it's very important. I'm going to address your other issues here momentarily when public comment is done. So I just want the crowd to know that. Please come forward. Please state and spell your name for the record.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Rosa Lopez, Rosalopez. And watching you interact with some of the speakers is what we expect for all issues that matter to Kern residents. Kern has turned into a prison as a source of job and economic development. But despite the promise of economic benefits, the presence of prisons does not lead to long-term prosperity. Specifically, allowing our communities to become dumping grounds for billion-dollar private corporations like GEO and Core Civic does not benefit us. I know you will say you have no power over federal issue, but you have power to decide what we invest in and what we fund in Kern County. By every conceivable metrics, Kern County allocate more of its general funds to policing and criminalizing our communities, and any other function in this community. Under the 2025-2026 budget, the combined category for policing, prosecution, incarceration, and probation is slated to receive over 50% of the general fund dollars, over $500 million of our public money. It is the single largest expenditure in the county. The sheriff's office alone is set to receive $345 million. And in comparison, public assistance programs will only receive about 16% of the general funds, or about $187 million. Public defense services, like the Public Defender's Office, which ensures legal representations for residents who cannot afford an attorney, will receive less than 5%, approximately $30 million. Education and libraries, including the county library system and the Farm and Home Advisor program, are set to receive about 1% of the budget, or around $15 million. These figures don't just reflect a budget, but it's a set of values, this community's values. One that prioritizes incarceration over care and punishment over community. And this is not what we deserve. We deserve better.
Thank you, Ms. Lopez. Next speaker, if you could please come down. Please state and spell your name for the record. Thank you, welcome, and good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Board of Supervisors. My name is Valerie Pinto, P-I-N-T-O. I'm here for 3 points. One is to vote yes on Prop 50. The other is to get the health department down to Cal City because it's very necessary. I have been in these detention centers and I've seen the horrors. And the third is I know it's too late for this year's budget, it's already been set in stone basically, but just to echo what Rosa Lopez had just mentioned, public safety is not just more cops. I don't have anything against cops. Public safety is the absence of, public safety isn't, criminalizing our communities. Safety is the presence of well-being, mental health resources, housing resources. The budget is fully for, the sheriffs, and again, nothing against law enforcement, but this county needs so much more than just dollars being thrown into the garbage. And I'm also speaking in support of Prop 50 because immigrant communities deserve fair and equal representation in Congress. For too long, national redistricting has been pushed around and bullied by other states. I don't know how it's done in other countries. I don't know how it's done in other states. I love California. I'm a Cali girl. And we need fair and equal representation. And if whoever doesn't like it, they can go to a different state. But here, the way that it is here in California, immigrants run this country. We produce the fruits, we have the labor, we also are deserving of human rights and dignity. And so I'm not here to lecture you all, but just to remind you that you took an oath of public officials, and that is being, just neutral, right? Again, I'm not here to shape different opinions and forms, but remember who you are serving. Thank you so much for your time and have a great day.
Thank you. Good afternoon and welcome. Please state and spell your name for the record.
Good afternoon. I'm Eddie Laney, D-D-Y-L-A-I-N-E.
Good afternoon.
One budget area that stands out is Kern County funding for park rangers. Now $5 million, according to August 2nd, 2025 article in the Californian. In fiscal year 2024-25, the CAO transferred the ranger program to the sheriff's office. Before that transfer, park ranger expenses for the preceding 2 years were under $1.1 million each. How has that additional almost $4 million in taxpayer money impacted Kern County parks? Well, no evidence in Panorama Park. Never seen a park ranger there in a vehicle or on foot patrol, even after a young man was shot to death a couple of months ago trying to break up a fight in the park. No commitment to replace the 14 trees that died last summer for lack of water, with vandalism given as a reason. Park rangers on patrol would discourage vandals. Where is accountability? Of utmost importance, the health and safety of all who live in Kern County, including in California City's ICE detention center. Conditions so awful that one man committed suicide and another tried. Prescription medication denied, with a man collapsing with a blood sugar level of 40. Water in some sinks whitish. Slippers given to detainees as shoes so thin that when men go to the yard, which has no bathroom or water fountain, their slippers get punctured by the puncture vines. During a recent rainstorm, detainees were forced to use towels and blankets to clean up their wet two-man cells, wet from ceiling links. This situation is dire. 2 weeks ago, many of us were here and asked this board to direct the Kern County Department of Health to go into this facility and conduct a thorough inspection of health and safety conditions. As I speak, no inspection has done or planned. Human beings are suffering while the sheriff's budget balloons without accountability. Wrong. By the way, what's right, I stand with him, Judge Tafoya. Thank you, Judge Tafoya.
Thank you, Mr. Lane. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome. Please state and spell your name for the record.
Good afternoon. Thank you for letting me speak. My name is Ismael Gonzalez, Ismael Gonzalez. I'm here in support of Proposition 50. If our president can call the governor of Texas and tell him to steal some seats, then California can do the same thing. We got to fight fire with fire. So we can't just let them get away with it. I get tired of people saying, well, you're doing wrong. Two wrongs don't make a right. But they're doing it, so why can't we do it? You know, if I'm going to go to a fight, I'm going to go there equally. So thank you. I want to make it short.
Thank you, Ismail. Thank you for your time. Please come down. Next speaker. And please state and spell your name for the record. Welcome and good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Dave Westcott, W-E-S-C-O-T-T, Marine Corps veteran. I'd spoken to you guys a couple weeks ago on the day that you had made your decision, and I didn't get a chance to come to the next county board meeting, but I wanted to let you know that I'm disappointed in the majority vote that you guys had done. And I told you that, you know, you had the authority and the ability to do it, but sometimes you need to take a step back and not exercise those. And so you can see the constituents that you've had come up, you know, in the last hour or so, that when we are aware of the decisions you guys are making, you know, we show up in numbers. And you can tell that at this point, or you should be able to, that you were wrong in making that decision. In the legal community, there's a legal doctrine, res ipsa loquitur, which means let the thing speak for itself. And as I told you at the last meeting that I was here, you got your ballot in the mail, I got mine. You can vote the way you want to vote, and I'm going to vote the way I want to vote. But when I voted yes, and you said that Kern County was voting no, now there's a conflict. And we didn't need to do that. We didn't need to send a message that there's a conflict between what our supervisors think Kern County is doing when we are showing up now en masse and telling you, no, we are voting yes. You were wrong on that. So I'm asking you from a procedural standpoint, officially, that once through the general portion of this is over, that I ask one of the supervisors to put on the next board meeting to make an actual vote on rescinding that resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Westcott. And thank you for your service. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. Honorable Board of Supervisors. My name is Audrey Chavez, Audreychavez. She, her, ella. I'm a small business owner, born and raised here in Kern County. And just in light of what's been going on, I am an American. I choose to share my voice, share my thoughts and my positions, and I serve my country. And I feel offended by some of the language that's being used on the national level about people who stand up for the rights of others, for the vulnerable, for our democracy. Because I understand That is what it is to be an American. I'm here with countless others requesting of each of you, Parlier, Flores, Perez, Couch, Peters, that you rescind your vote that was party line affiliated in opposing Prop 50. As a constituent, I know that each of you in the positions as Kern County Board of Supervisors must be nonpartisan while serving in this position. We understand that you have rights to vote as you wish as individuals, as we do. But as a board elected by us, your constituents that you represent, your recent vote on Prop 50 was inappropriate. Here you are, where in a supervisorial role, we are not asking which party you favor, but rather we, fellow American constituents, in an effort to remain a democracy, we must insist on fair elections. We must insist that you represent, as we voted you in to do so. And therefore, we are here to give you a reminder of nonpartisanship, that the fact that you asked for our votes for this position with the knowledge of your need to be nonpartisan, and we ask that you rescind. All in favor of our Board of Supervisors to rescind, please stand now and wave your American flags. We, the people, neither left nor right, but as fellow Americans serving, we ask and we express that you do so and honor our two shared constitutional rights. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Chavez. I think I see Ulysses there. Hello, Ulysses. Can somebody help with the microphone there if you got it?
I got it.
Oh, he's like, I got it.
He's very independent, so I'm not surprised.
Okay, can anyone hear me?
Yes.
My name's Ulysses Hernandez, Ulisses Hernandez. He, him, él. I was born in Los Angeles and moved here in '99 in Bakersfield. It wasn't, okay, all right. So anywho, I didn't have a lot of options, but that didn't stop me from going from one place to another. I understand why you guys voted for no on Prop 50. I'm not gonna judge you guys. I'm not gonna say you're wrong. But the people behind us, are the constituents, they made their voices clear that they want Prop 50 to pass. Now, I don't have a lot of experience in politics, but I know that when we want something, when we want to achieve something, we arrive in numbers. We tell you how we feel. And I understand how Parlier, Flores, Perez, Couch, and Peters feel about this proposition. Yeah, we're gonna have conflicts in the near future, but at the end of the day, we're all human. We all choose what we want in life. We all decide what we want in the future. We control our destinies. We control our lives. We will thrive. We will get through this. There are dark days ahead in the future, but as long as we're together, nothing can stop us. We are Kern County. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ulysses. Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Are there any other members of the public that would like to speak at this time? I'd ask that you come forward now, please. Please. Oh, hello there, Dolores. I did not see you.
Thank you very much. My name is Dolores Huerta. That's Dolores Huerta. We know that we are living in a very difficult moment right now. We have seen authoritarianism like we never thought would ever happen in the United States of America. Millions of people have given their lives to save democracy. And Even in my own family, my dad, my brothers were in World War II. My great-grandfather actually fought in the Civil War on the Union side, okay? And, you know, people gave their lives, and now we are being called on to do something to save our democracy. And I want to thank all the people that are here, because that is exactly what we are doing right now. We have never seen the terrible things that are happening in Kern County right now. We know that 90 people were arrested. We were the first ones hit by the Border Patrol. They arrested 90 people. Of the 90 people that they arrested, only one had any kind of a criminal record. And that could have been a traffic ticket, for all we know. I do not believe that this board aligns with what is happening right now. And this is why we have to do whatever we can to change it. Had we been in Nazi Germany in the 30s, what would we have done to save the lives of Anne Frank and the other Jewish people, disabled people that were being murdered by the Nazis? I think we would have done something. And now, you know, what you're being asked to do is very, very small compared to the sacrifices that other people have done to save democracy. All we're asking you to do is to rescind the vote that you gave against Proposition 50. Because what we are trying to do with Proposition 50 is stop the attacks on our communities, stop the ethnic cleansing, stop cutting our Medicaid, stop cutting the money that's going to disabled children and disabled community. We have to change the politics. And the only way that we can change the policies that are happening right now in the United States of America is by supporting Proposition 50 and making it possible that the people who are using our tax dollars to put people in detention centers like the one that we just heard about, this is our tax dollars. That money that we need to go for health care, that we need to go for education, that we need to go for infrastructure, these are our tax dollars. And we have to change the people that are doing this. And so it's a very simple thing that you have to do. If you want to stop the fascism, the authoritarianism, all you have to do is rescind your vote. You have an oath to the Constitution of the United States of America, not an oath to the Republican Party. And we ask you to do what you promised to do when you raised your hand and you gave your oath.
Thank you.
You can do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other members of the public that want to speak on this matter? Please come forth now. Please state and spell your name for the record. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome.
Dennis McLean, MC, capital L-E-A-N. I've sat here for over an hour, and I just couldn't be silent. I respect and support the resolution you guys adopted, and you guys know me a little bit now, so I support legal immigration, not illegal immigration. I support law enforcement. And our governor has hurt our county budget tremendously. He's broken the county. He's destroyed it. And the people that are in support of Prop 50, he wrote this law. How can you support that? Not to say what the state of California has done to our child's public school education. If any of you have children in school or grandchildren, like myself, been following it 5 years since the pandemic, and boy, we are in terrible shape. You talk about Nazism, that's in a heartbeat. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any other speakers this afternoon? Good afternoon, sir. Welcome. Please state and spell your name for the record.
Good afternoon. My name's Charles Collins.
Can you get the mic a little bit closer? Thank you, sir.
Yes, Collins is C-O-L-L-I-N-S. It's a pleasure to see all you board members again, Madam Chairman, and all the board. I am here today in support of Judge Tafoya's request And I support what everyone has said here today, but I wanted to kind of give you my thoughts on this. I am 72. I'm a retired attorney. I practiced law for 35 years, much of it for the County of Kern, its officers and its employees, which I'm very proud of. But I feel like at this time in our history, we are changing. A lot is changing, and the bonds that hold us together as a people and a nation, they're fraying. It's getting to be a very important historical time, and as a student of history, I would say that it's not good to live in a historical time. It's better to live in kind of one of those times like we did in the 50s, 60s, 70s, where not much is happening, at least that affects you in your daily life. And I was very surprised when Proposition 50 first came out to read the history of it and to realize that it all stemmed from the president asking the Republicans who run Texas to come up with 5 new seats. And from that, everything has happened since then. Governor Newsom is trying to overcome essentially a sucker punch. And we got it, we took the sucker punch, and now Proposition 50 is trying to reestablish the status quo, the balance of things, by establishing 5 new, probably Democratic congressional districts. That would be the balance with Texas's 5 new Republican districts. It's not a matter of change, it's a matter of balance and leveling the playing field. I support Governor Newsom, I support Proposition 50, I urge your board to rescind, and I urge everyone here today, if they haven't voted, vote yes on Proposition 50.
Thank you, Mr. Collins.
Good to see you, Charles.
It is nice to see you. Are there any other members of the public that would like to comment at this time? I would ask you to please do so now. Can I ask, is there anyone else here that would like to speak? If so, could you raise your hand for a moment so we get a sense? Okay, very good. It looks like this is our final speaker. Good afternoon, ma'am. Welcome.
Hi. My name is Amy Richardson, AMY-RICHARDSON.
Hi, Amy.
I am a retired licensed marriage and family therapist. I have been retired for 11 years, and for 11 years I have worked at the mission of Kern County doing therapy as a volunteer. In the DSM, the Diagnostic and Statistic Manual of Mental Disorders, there is a diagnosis called narcissism. I am not allowed as a therapist to diagnose someone I have not seen, and if I had seen them, I would certainly not be allowed to talk publicly about that diagnosis. However, from an observational standpoint, we have a president who meets the criteria of narcissism. There are 9 criteria. 5 of them are all that is required. However, if you simply observe him, just from an observational point of view, he is a narcissist. And this is who is determining what is happening to this country. So I urge you to change your vote. Thank you.
Thank you for your service, ma'am. Looks like that was the remaining, oh, we have one more. Welcome, good afternoon. I recognize you.
Yeah. Madam Chair, Supervisors. I didn't come here to address the board, but after hearing all the comments, my name is Beto Sala, B-E-T-O-S-A-L-A. I've been a lawyer in this county for 42 years. I've been certified by the State Bar as a specialist in criminal law. I believe in public safety and law enforcement, but most importantly, I believe in the rule of law and the Constitution of the United States. And I just want to leave you with this observation, because I think it's important. What you're being asked to do is to rescind a resolution that probably shouldn't have occurred in the first instance. I heard the former Marine, speak that we all received our ballots. We all have a right to choose whether or not we want to adopt Proposition 50 or not. But this board has a lot of influence in this county. You can be very persuasive to voters. But what happened in taking a position the way you did is you disregarded that right to choose. It would be similar to if I were to try a case in front of a jury and I asked the jury to consider the evidence and have the jury make their decision, but the judge were to say, I think you should vote for guilt. What do you think that would do, that kind of influence? What kind of impact that would have on a jury? It would undermine their independent ability and power to judge for themselves. And that's what you all did. With all due respect, you put your finger on the scale, particularly when it was not your role to do that. And that's what you all did. You told the jury how to vote. And I don't think that was appropriate, and I ask you to rescind that decision. Thank you.
Closing statement. Any other members of the public at this time? Okay, I'm going to close the public hearing portion, and I'm going to come back to my colleagues and respectfully ask for them to respond to what they have heard today. In my time as chair this year, I have not sat through an hour and a half of public comment with such passion. Yes, there's disagreement, and that's appropriate, but I have not heard such a lengthy period of public comment since I have been up here. And so I think it is incumbent upon us to respond to the issues that were presented today, in particular, two of them. The ICE facility, of which we will get to after we deal with the issue of Prop 50. And I see my colleague courageously has punched in, Supervisor Peters. I respect and appreciate you so much. Oh, was that an accident?
Oh, no. I'm
okay. I was like, oh no, I misspoke. Okay, and I want to ask you, appreciate you punching in and your willingness to start off this conversation because it would not be appropriate to ignore the members of this community, residents, citizens, voters, members of the public from every walk of life that I have seen here today without us responding to your very serious concerns. Thank you very much. Supervisor Peters, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First off, I appreciate everybody taking their time to come down here, to be engaged. I think that's important. We need to see more of that. You know, this is something that, you know, was said many times. We're doing this. We're trying to make it a fair fight. Texas did this. California has to do this. Well, right now, almost every single elected member of the Democrat Party at the state level has taken a position in support of this. And as far as counties, I believe there's, I have the list right here. San Mateo County Board of Supervisors has taken a position in support. San Francisco Board of Supervisors has taken a position in support. Los Angeles City Council has taken a position in favor of support. The Napa County Board of Supervisors has taken a position in favor of support. You know, there are a lot of people in this county that are on both sides of the aisle, and that's a great thing. But we listen to everybody, all of our constituents, not just the loudest ones in the room. And to say that we're discounting or influencing, or this is something we shouldn't have done, while not mentioning anything about every other county that's out there in support, is antithetical to every argument I've heard today when you're saying that we need to do this because Texas did it. I'm not saying that two wrongs make a right. I don't live in Texas. I don't represent anybody in Texas. I represent everybody in Kern County, in particular District 1. And I promise you, there is a significant number of people in our county that don't want this. Voters voted in 2010 to form an independent election commission. After politically charging the situation as being put forward again to the voters to undo that decision. Everybody's going to get a chance to vote on this. Voters didn't put this proposition back on the ballot, our state did. So to say that this isn't politically charged is completely disingenuous. And to be honest, I find the comparisons that I've heard today from some members about Nazi Germany absolutely reprehensible, especially in this era of political violence. And I would hope for better than that. I appreciate, again, everybody's opinions, everybody's civil conversation on this, and I absolutely guarantee you I'm representing my constituents on this, but we are all still going to get a chance to vote on it. And so that's my comments for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Peters. I'd ask my other colleagues if you're interested in weighing in and providing a response to the constituents who have been here today, asking for you to answer up to them on these matters, just the way Supervisor Peters did a moment ago. Thank you. Supervisor Couch.
Jeff, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'd like to thank everyone that has come out with their testimony and their arguments. It was very powerful. If anyone would like to discuss it further with me, you're welcome to come up to my office or call me on my landline or cell phone, and I'm happy to discuss the measures pro and con and what it does to the state, irrespective of party. There's a lot of issues with this from a constitutional standpoint, from a map drawing standpoint, from a transparency standpoint, but more importantly, from a rural versus urban standpoint. When you change the nature of the districts to this extent, rural California will no longer have a say in anything. The weight and the shift is transferred to urban areas. When you have districts that were formerly semi-intact up in the north part of the state now being drawn from the Oregon border to Marin County and to the Bay Area, it really does a disservice to rural interests, rural industries, rural voters. So that's just for starters, but we can talk about Texas and two wrongs make a right and what have you, but it's really more than can be discussed here from the dais in a couple of minutes. But I have an open door. Anyone that wants to come see me can see me in my office or call me on my cell phone, 332-2717, and I'm happy to speak with any one of you. And thank you for coming out. And then we can talk about the prison issue, which is we don't control those prisons. I want to make that clear, because oftentimes people are taking the mic and they're I don't know if they're assuming or they think that we're running those, but we're not running. The only prison we're running is Laredo. And to insinuate otherwise and to castigate the board that we're responsible for anything that's happening. I don't know what's happening because I'm not over there. But we can talk about that also. If you want to come see me, we can talk about that too. But those are my
Thank you, Supervisor
some
Flores.
comments.
We will get to the ICE issue in a moment. But Supervisor Couch.
I supported opposing. How do you support opposing? I opposed and do oppose Prop 50, and I'll tell you why I voted in the way that I did. Prop 20, I think it was, in 2008, established this commission, which I wasn't crazy about, an independent commission. But it was put there, I believe, by the voters. I don't think, well, I know the state of California did not go through any public process of showing a variety of changes that could be made to the congressional district boundaries. It was drawn. You can't get an answer on who drew the maps, and I just think the process was flawed. And you can believe. I'm going to make a statement. Some of you aren't going to believe it because you think this is entirely partisan. I can assure you, I'm telling you the truth as best I can. If the Republican Party had tried the exact same thing, I would have opposed it because I don't think the process was followed the way the public process was followed the way it should have been. That's all I have to say on that. You want to move on or Chris, do you want to weigh in on this before we move
And
to?
I'm going to make some statements about it
Okay.
as well. But thank you, Supervisor Couch, I appreciate you. Supervisor Peters, did you want to, excuse me, Parlier, did you want to weigh in at this time?
No, but I'm curious on Supervisor's couch. I think he has some comments regarding the ladder issue.
The ICE facility. Okay. So I cannot even begin to express my gratitude and my appreciation for the remarkable passion and brilliance presented today, which was on a whole host of opinions and political matters. I really appreciate you. You probably know that I voted no on this particular issue. And for a moment, I thought about abstaining on it because I was so disheartened by such a partisan matter being drug into these chambers. I thought about that for a moment, and I realized that that would have been weak and really unacceptable to many people. And I took the position that I did for a lot of reasons, but I was really very saddened by that moment for a number of the reasons expressed here today quite articulately. Thank you, Mr. Sala, for, I think, a very objective perspective about why this board should think very seriously about the positions it takes, in particular on heavily, heavily heated political matters that, as has been stated very well today, are quite frankly tearing this country apart. Our civility, our norms, the things that make America the light of the world, with all of our religions, our languages, our cultures, our traditions that emerge from the entire globe, unless you're Native American. And that is part of what is so profoundly courageous about this nation, is our willingness to engage in civil debate, to create spaces like we have in this Board of Supervisors chambers, where we can talk about issues like resources to the Sheriff's Department, resources to our autistic children in this community, our parks and their condition, et cetera, et cetera. That is what this space is for. It is for all of us. Whatever your political leanings may be, whatever your personal choices to express a faith or practice that in your private settings and in your houses of worship, that is for you to choose and for you to decide. But this place is a place for all of us. It's a place of civility and for the kind of democratic norms that are not seen in anywhere on the globe, and that are the hope and envy of the nearly 7 billion plus people on this planet. We know that because of how many people die trying to get here, what they sacrifice, what the people who have come before us have sacrificed to emerge from wherever on the planet your people come from. And so I was saddened to see that matter. While I appreciate the passion and the reasons why my colleagues wanted to address that issue here, they feel very passionately about the political matters that are before us today, and I respect that. But I was deeply saddened to see that matter come into here and create the kind of environment that we see here today that pits people against each other, creates partisan conversations that are really not appropriate or not for this place. And I know why you came today, and I appreciate it, and I respect it, and I am grateful for you for being here and expressing a different opinion that is what is traditionally the majority view in this chambers, because there hasn't been a lot of space for that. And it is just as important as the majority and dominant political position in this community. While I wish we would leave that for our partisan places and our houses where we debate such things. But I think you can see very clearly that there is not the political impetus from this body to change the vote that was taken. I think that's very clear and very obvious. I respect my colleagues and their position. I know they feel passionately about it, and they have been very clear with you today their reasons for not rescinding that vote and for continue to have the position that they do. And so I want to say again, thank you for being here. Thank you for demonstrating that there are a host of political views in this county that are passionate, that are strong, that are organized, and I appreciate you all being here today, whatever your political perspective was. I do want to move to the issue of the ICE facility because This has been raised in these chambers now for years. While I have been chair and while I have not been chair, these issues have been raised. And I think we owe it to the public to answer the public what we are doing, what we cannot do, what we believe is within our purview, and what steps that we can reasonably take moving forward. I would ask our county council at this time if you could give us some direction on what you believe is appropriate, what we can, what we cannot do, and where the conversation for the county is in its evolution regarding these facilities here. Somebody said earlier, we can shut these facilities down. I don't believe that we have the authority to do that, but it would be helpful to hear from county council and staff on the evolution of this conversation. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Board of Supervisors. Yes, you are correct that we do not have the ability to shut these facilities down. These are they're private facilities that are contracted with the federal government. We don't have any power. While there was recent legislation that does allow us to go in and inspect, we are not required to inspect. If we do inspect, we can file reports that have to be filed with your board, with the BSCC, and also with the facility that is managing or running those facilities. However, we have no teeth. There's nothing that we can do to, we can't cite them, we can't put violations on them, and we may not even be able to enter them if they don't allow us to enter them. We can certainly take a referral from your board to look into what steps we can take, perhaps in the form of cooperating or reaching out to these facilities and asking for their cooperation so that we could maybe gain access to do the inspections, but they have the right to keep us from coming in. If you need anything else, I have Jennifer Feige with me, who has done a deeper dive into these issues, and I'd be happy to have her answer some further questions.
Thank you so much. Jennifer, it would be really helpful if you could shed as much light as you can possibly shed. There is remarkable confusion on these matters today because of splits in the law and because some matters have not been fully interpreted or provided for us to understand these matters. I appreciate that reality. There has been remarkable outcry from the public, as you see today and in previous settings, regarding the conditions at these facilities and what the county is able and capable of doing. If you could help shed light, please, on these matters, I think it would go a long way.
Madam Chair, Board, I will do my best. There was a reference by Ms. Graham regarding California Senate Bill 1132 that took effect January 1st of this year. And just to kind of put this in perspective, we have 3 facilities here in Kern County which are operated by private contractors. They're under contract with the federal government, and specifically they're under the purview of the Department of Homeland Security, Immigrations and Customs Enforcement. And under that umbrella, there are 6 separate agencies under ICE and the Department of Homeland Security. And for the record, the Office of the Inspector General, the Office of Detention Oversight, the Office of the Immigration Detention Ombudsman, U.S. ICE Enforcement and Removal Operations, the Office of Professional Responsibility, and the Office of Civil Rights and Civil Liberties. In addition, under the operating statute for Homeland Security, the members of Congress and their staffs are allowed to enter those facilities as well. And finally, Assembly Bill 103 empowers the California Attorney General to conduct reviews of these local, county, private, locked detention facilities that house non-citizens through 2027. And also we have the Board of State and Community Corrections, BSCC, that Ms. Graham referenced earlier. So under this broad umbrella of Homeland Security, you have 6 separate agencies within that conduct those reviews. You also have state oversight. It is a very murky area to determine what our ability is to conduct reviews. if we conduct those reviews, as Ms. Graham indicated, there's no way we can impose any violations. So I think we need some clarity from our federal and state agencies about what our role should be.
And how would we go about getting that clarity? What is it that we actually can do? Can a supervisor show up there and
No.
ask to see the facility?
No, not at all. The health and safety code only empowers the local health officer to go out and conduct that inspection. And I would note that that would require consent from the facility. If the facility doesn't allow you in, unless you have consent, you would need a warrant.
How do we obtain consent to do such a thing?
We'd have to reach out, I believe, of the handful of facilities in the state, there's only been one inspection conducted in the entire 10 months that the statute's been operative.
Okay, so if this body were to choose to want to send our health officer in, the supervisors cannot go, it sounds like.
Correct.
But the health officer could go if we were to reach out to the facility and ask them for permission and collaboration, partnership essentially, to see if what we are hearing from the public is true or not true, or to see the conditions of the facility.
That's correct.
Okay. That's an excellent beginning of this conversation. Thank you very much. I see Supervisor Peters again courageously punching in. Thank you, Supervisor Peters. The floor is yours.
I'm a glutton for punishment. So just to clarify, I know you said one inspection has been conducted, but just for the benefit of the public, I believe you meant one inspection's been conducted by a county under this new law, not just one inspection in total, correct?
My understanding is that there is one county in California that has gone out and conducted one inspection.
Okay, but the other federal
Yes, there have been.
entities are still filing reports, and, okay.
Yes.
Thank you. And then I think there was one other question I had. Oh, yeah, in 2018, I think it was, that was when the federal government filed a lawsuit against the state of California regarding going and inspecting similar federal facilities. Is that correct?
Supervisor Peters, through the chair, yes, that is correct.
Okay, thank you. So just from my point of view, I think, we're being told one thing by the state, one thing by the federal government. I think it would be good if we could just seek some clarity on that and reach out to whoever the appropriate agency would be at the state and federal level, and just ask for a legal opinion on what our responsibilities or allowable duties would be, just from a legal perspective.
Supervisor Peters, is that a referral?
That is a referral.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Supervisor Peters, thank you for your referral. Are there any other comments, questions, or input any of my other colleagues would like to add at this point? This is, I don't want to say entirely unprecedented, but it is an area that we are working through and figuring out literally as we speak what is allowed, what is not allowed, and what we can do as a county to answer to you, mostly the public, but to see to it that members of this community or who is housed in Kern County. I understand we have more detention facilities than any other county in the state. There are only 4 counties who have detention facilities. We have the most here. I think it behooves us to get some clarity about what we can and cannot do. I think there has been real confusion about it, certainly from the public, about what they believe we can and should be doing, and we owe them a full explanation as to what our capacity is and what our intentions are. And so if there are any other, my colleagues who would like to weigh in, now would be the time to do so. Supervisor Couch, thank you so much. Your thoughts?
Thank you. Sometimes, and I'm going to bring this home, just give me a minute to wander around for a second. Sometimes we have a chart over here that shows the progress that the San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District has made over the last 25 years or so, and it's remarkable progress. The reason I asked to have that put up there is because many times during hearings, usually land use hearings, we hear that we have the worst air in the country, which isn't true anymore, but we're grappling with how to run a campaign that says we're not the worst. That's not the not the best tagline. We're trying to come up with something better than that. But we've made tremendous progress. But oftentimes when people stand up here to the microphone and they say something, it's taken, if the public hears it, they're going to believe it. Something was said earlier today about the amount of money. I'm getting to the behavioral health piece of this now. Amount of money that we spend on public safety, and we do spend a great deal of it. However, if you would like to venture a guess, and I'm not denigrating this, venture a guess at what our behavioral health budget is for the fiscal year 25-26, just put a number in your head, and now I'm going to tell you what it is. It's approximately $450 million. So it's not for a lack of money or a lack of spending that we are putting effort into not only public safety, but also behavioral health. And I wanted to make that comment because I think some people think we're just throwing all the money at public safety, which is needed, but we're doing a lot more than just that. Is Bryn Kerrigan still here? I don't see her.
Not this afternoon.
I also wanted to make the note, and this is not an inspection by her, but she is in regular contact with the 3 facilities here in Kern County, especially when it comes to outbreaks or illnesses of those sorts that need to be reported. So the county public health officer is in contact with these 3 facilities. She's not going in and doing inspections. Don't read that into it, but she is in contact with them for various other reasons. It was also mentioned by our staff that there are, and I think you said 6 agencies that can perform inspections. Those are federal agencies inspecting federal operations, correct?
Supervisor Couch, through the chair, yes, that's correct.
Okay, so I would like to ask Supervisor Peters if he would, I think his referral was let's get some clarification from the Department of Justice, from the United States, and from the state of California on, because there's conflict in the law that was passed by the state and the federal government's law, correct?
Supervisor Couch, yes, that's
Okay,
correct.
so if we could add to that, maybe a letter to the 6 agencies that just says, we have had public comment about these facilities in our county. We wanted you to know about that. And at least they're notified that we've had some public comment and there's concern among members of the public. Enough concern that they're willing to come down to a Board of Supervisors meeting and express it. And lastly, and I don't know if this is part of the referral or not, but I think, I don't know if you want to incorporate Proposition 50 into it at all, but this issue specifically, I think we ought to have some sort of a statement from the county, from our PIO or a press release, what have you. And I'll leave that to our CAO's office to figure out how you would like to deal with that, on what our referral is, what we're actually doing, so the media and the public are aware of exactly what we're doing, and we make it as clear as we can make it. You need a motion for all of
Supervisor,
that?
is that a friendly amendment to Supervisor Peters' motion?
It's an overtly friendly amendment, yes.
Okay.
Thank you. And
They really are
one
2
more thing.
separate referrals, the one issuing on Prop 50 and then the one having to do with the detention centers. And so,
I don't think we
I
have
don't
a
even know
Prop
what the
50
Prop 50
referral.
referral
oh, I
would be.
thought you said you wanted them to.
No.
Okay, never mind.
Sorry about that. No, am I right,
My bad.
Supervisor Couch?
Correct.
Okay. I hear one motion from Supervisor Peters regarding clarification, and then from Supervisor Couch, the letters to the institutions. There are apparently 6 federal agencies that do have the authority and the responsibility of checking these facilities. Some of that has occurred. Reports have been written and have not entirely been provided to us, and we would like to see what those are. I hear from you, Supervisor Couch, you want to inform them that we've received reports from the public of conditions there, in particular medical care provision, a whole host of problems that have been reported to us that we would like answers on. Do you have any addition from Supervisor Flores?
Thank you. And just to add on, so that was 6 entities within DHS, but there's actually 9 that were cited in County Council's report when you add on State AG, the SEC, and Congress. So why don't we just pursue all 9 avenues so we approach it in a comprehensive manner.
Thank you, Supervisor Flores. Supervisor Parlier, were you punching in? No, okay. Any other comment, questions, actions?
Let me try and
ahead.
synthesize kind of what I've heard. I'd like to motion that we make a referral to the appropriate state and federal agencies asking for clarification on our legal responsibilities and what we're allowed to do under law as it stands, and also to make those agencies aware of public comment that we've received regarding the status of these facilities. Does that
I appreciate, thank you.
cover it all?
Thank you. Supervisor Couch, does that sound accurate?
It does. I was just going to say, that's a letter to those agencies. I think and the CAO and the attorneys are going to have to work on that, because we have no evidence. We have reports that have been given to us at a Board of Supervisors meeting. So, you have to tread lightly on how you inform these agencies of the concerns that we've heard. Thank you.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you. It is my understanding, as to what I've been informed of as of today, before this public session, that supervisors are not allowed into these facilities. We cannot arrive and demand entry into them. We have no inspection rights. That is what I have been informed of. We're asking for clarity on this matter officially through this referral process. My plan was to arrive there. I have conservative friends in this community who said they wanted to accompany me also, because if what they are hearing is true, they also found that to be detestable. But as of today, I've learned that is not permissible. I don't know if that's true or not. We need to get clarification on that. And I apologize for the delay and for the disappointment. Sincerely apologize. We have a motion and a second. Do you have any other additional comments, questions, or asks at this time? Okay. Thank you. Please cast your vote on the referral. The motion.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Thank you, colleagues. Thank you, members of the public. Thank you for everything that you do. We're going to move to board member announcements or reports. Gentlemen, do you have anything to report? Okay. We are going to move to items number 9 and 10, which we are going to hear concurrently from Josh Champlin, who will present on plan specification and notice to bidders for South Shafter Sewer Project. Thank you. We do have some folks who are leaving the chambers at this time, but I'd ask that you gear up and get ready. Thank you for your patience. It's been a long afternoon. Thank you to the members of the public who are here today. Thank you so much. Mr. Champlin, the floor is yours.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Joshua Champlin, your Public Works Director. Today I'm joined by Adrian Nava, Assistant Director of Public Works. Before you today are both items 9 and 10, and I wanted to start just by reading kind of the intros to these. I know that they are they're connected, and so we want you to hear them concurrently. But item number 9 is the contract number 25031 for plan specifications and notice to bidders for the South Shafter Sewer Project. And then item number 10 is a proposed agreement with the City of Shafter for the transfer of ownership of the South Shafter Sewer Project to the City of Shafter to own, operate, and maintain the South Shafter Sewer Project improvements. So the project description, this is a project south of Shafter, as the name states. Many homes in this area rely heavily on their aging septic systems, and you may remember that previously we came to your board with CDBG funding that's providing a temporary solution for pumping of septics that have failed. But this is in fact the project that we're the final solution to get people on sanitary septic. Groundwater tests have shown very high levels of nitrates, a sign of septic failures. Long-term exposure of these has been linked to cancers and other thyroid diseases. These conditions pose serious health and safety risks for families, and the residents have been requesting, almost demanding this service for decades now. We at Public Works have applied numerous times for state funding for this, and the most recent was in 2018 when we were when we were provided the funding from the Department of Water Resources. The California State Water Resources Control Board reviewed and in 2018 approved our application, and this is funded through the state's Small Community Wastewater Grant Program. It's important to note this is 100% funded through the state of California with no local match. This project will serve 354 total parcels, including 337 residential households. Not only are the construction costs covered, but in fact, the hookup costs to the city of Shafter system as well. Anybody who's built a new home knows that hooking up and paying for capacity in a sewer treatment plant is very expensive as well. So the Department of Water Resources covers these costs as well. Next, we have a couple maps that kind of show you a geographical representation. The gray area on the top is the city limits of Shafter, and these are in the unincorporated areas south of Shafter. And one more here, this is an APN map that shows the affected parcels. It's important to note that of the 354 parcels, 337 residential properties are the only qualifying hookups that are going to be paid for. Commercial properties are still required to pay to hook up their businesses outside of the grant funding. And then specific numbers here. Once again, it's 100% funded by the State Water Resources Control Board. We were awarded close to $18 million in funding in 2018, and this request is to get your board's approval to advertise the project. We don't know the true cost until we actually open the bids for this project, but this is the time to do so because there are statutory limitations on the time frame, and if we wait too much longer, we could miss out on any and all of this funding. Our current estimate is $24 million, but we have to open the bids to find out. Now, there's a process at the end of all of this, and I want to answer these questions before I know they may come up, but the state of California has what's called the final budget approval, and regardless of whether the project goes over the initial funded amount or not, this is a step that takes 2 to 3 months to process. We've had multiple meetings with state representatives, and they've made it very clear that this extra money is available. And we're very confident that once we open these bids, we will be awarded that additional funding to cover up to the $24 million. It's important to note also that we have written language in the specifications of this contract that we will not be executing and awarding this project until we know that we have sufficient funding to pay for it. That's why on the next slide I'll show you the anticipated schedule, and you'll see a big gap between the bid opening date and the start of construction, and that allows for time for us to recognize and to receive the additional funding that we have almost been assured of by the state. So the funding covers the installation of sewer mains, laterals, 2 lift stations, 1 sewer lateral connection per property, the abandonment of 1 septic tank per property, full restoration of road surfaces after construction, and then one thing on here as well, it's that sewer hookup fee, that capacity fee for Shafter sewer plant. And then the tie-in there at the end is, and this is item number 10, is the city of Shafter has executed an agreement to their city council, and we're asking your board to also agree to this, that upon completion of this project, all the assets will be transferred over to the city of Shafter because the effluent will be sent to the Shafter sewer treatment plant, and they will be responsible for direct billing to these property owners and for all future sewer needs for these property owners. And so here's the schedule as we have it. The design was completed in September of this year. Construction is scheduled to start May of 2026, and that is allowing for the time for that reconciliation of costs to be realized, and that's when we will be coming back to your board to recognize the low bidder and award the contract. And then construction completion is in August of 2027. These sewer projects are very long projects, and the final closeout would be February of 2028, and that would encompass the final billing for the project to the state and the transfer of the system to the city of Shafter. So being asked of you today for item number 9 is to authorize the chairman to sign, so authorize Public Works to publish notice to bidders in the newspaper of general circulation pursuant to section 20392 of Public Contract Code. Bid opening to be Friday, November 21st, 2025 at 11 a.m. And item number 10 would be a proposed agreement with the City of Shafter to transfer ownership of the South Shafter Sewer Project to the City of Shafter to own, operate, and maintain the South Shafter Sewer Project improvements upon project completion. And the action would be to approve and authorize the chairman to sign. It's important to note that item number 10 is a requirement prior to starting construction. That's a state requirement that we have that agreement in place for the maintenance future of this facility.
Got it.
That ends my prepared remarks, and we are here to answer any questions you may have.
Understood. Thank you so much for your presentation, very thorough, and the packet is very helpful. Are there members of the public who would like to weigh in on this project? If so, now would be the time to come down and give us your thoughts and input. Good afternoon, sir. I see you making your way to the lectern. Welcome. Good afternoon. Please state and spell your name for the record.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the board. My name is Oscar Cisneros, OSCAR-CISNEROS. I'm here on behalf of Self-Help Enterprises Community Development, where we serve as a technical assistance provider, acting as a link between communities, funding agencies, and technical resources. Our work involves assessing environmental and health challenges, educating communities, and helping the development of sustainable project alternatives. Today I'm here to express deep appreciation on behalf of Self-Help Enterprises and the community members of South Shafter for your unwavering commitment and dedication shown towards the South Shafter Sewer Project. This project has been more than 2 decades in the making. The initial interest surveys were conducted back in November of 2002 by the South Shafter Sewer Committee in partnership with Self-Help Enterprises. Since then, residents have waited patiently, facing ongoing septic system issues, failures that have negatively impacted their daily lives. Now, more than 20 years later, we are closer than ever to making this project a reality. This effort will bring significant long-term improvements to public health, environmental conditions, and the overall quality of life for South Shafter. On behalf of the residents and all of us at Self-Help Enterprises, I would like to extend a sincere thank you to the County of Kern Public Works engineers and the Public Works right-of-way staff for their continued hard work, coordination, dedication to seeing this critical project through. Thank you for helping bringing long overdue change to a deserving community. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Thank you for everything you do, too. You're unsung heroes in this community, all over Kern County. Any other public comment at this time? Okay, I'm going to close the public hearing and return to my colleagues for comment, question, or action. I see Supervisor Peters has punched in.
Thank you. Just a quick question, Director Champlin. Once this gets turned over to the City of Shafter, how does the ongoing O&M costs get paid for this? Is that a fee that would have to be put in place?
Supervisor Peters through the chair. Once the city has accepted maintenance responsibilities over this line, they're going to be directly charging the residents for the usage, and so the maintenance would fall on the City of Shafter for all future maintenance of the improvements that we build.
Okay, I just was curious what that fee looks like, if that's like a 218 fee or if that's something that just goes directly on their property tax bill or how that works.
So in this area already, the City of Shafter has a sphere of influence that extends beyond their city limits, and these residents already get directly billed by the City of Shafter for their water already, and so they would use the same mechanism to do direct bill for their sewer service as well.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Supervisor Peters. Supervisor Couch.
Yeah. How many people are here today from this area that would enjoy this service? All of you folks that are here? None of you? Just one? Well,
Maybe folks left with the long,
Yeah,
long
maybe so.
afternoon.
Thank you for your patience. I say that, 20 years, it's been a while, but we're here. No one will be happier than you, if there is anyone happier than you, it will be that guy right over there, because he's tired of me asking him about it. But thank you for your work. Thank you for getting us this far, and I'm happy to make a motion. Do you need two motions, one on 9 and 10?
One for 9, one for 10.
So I'll make a motion on your recommendation for item 9.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on item 9. Gentlemen, please cast your votes.
The motion is approved, all ayes.
And as to item 10, Supervisor?
Motion on the recommendation for 10.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on item 10. Please cast your votes, gentlemen.
The
Thank you,
motion is
folks.
approved, all ayes.
Okay, congratulations, Supervisor Couch, and to the city of Shafter. It's a major civilizational upgrade. So congrats. Okay, moving along to item number 16 is a discussion on recommendations by the Board of Supervisors Standing Committee on Finance and Administration regarding the Board of Supervisors' May 13, 2025 referral to efforts to find efficiencies or improvements in the budget process. I see our team is getting in place, and we look forward to hearing from you. Elsa by herself is a team, frankly, but I see others are joining or perhaps coming to help us out. Okay, or not. Elsa, you'll be presenting on this matter, I take it? Thank you, and the floor is yours.
I am technically challenged, so just give me 1 second, please.
I know all about that.
Where is it at? Oh. Okay. Thank you for your patience. Madam Chair and members of the board, today I'm here to share the recommendations from the Board of Supervisors, a Standing Committee on Finance and Administration regarding efforts to enhance efficiency within our county. On May 13, the board referred a request from Supervisor Peters to the committee to explore opportunities for greater efficiency and improvements within our budgeting approach. Since then, the committee has met twice between June and September, engaging with auditor controller staff, the public, and key stakeholders to discuss our current audits and review practices and consider new options for efficiency reviews. First, the committee recommends that we continue to advance the Launch Kern initiative. Second, the committee recommends conducting targeted operational and organizational reviews of three key programs. And lastly, if your board approves the recommendation for operational and organizational reviews, the County Administrative Office is requesting that your board authorize the development of a request for qualifications to ensure that one or multiple consultants with the necessary expertise to assess the programs are secure. As your board may be aware, the county initiated in 2017 a program that leverages Lean Six Sigma principles to streamline government operations. The committee strongly supports continuing these valuable programs, which have proven to enhance efficiency and empower our workforce. Jason Weavy, Deputy CAO, will present the current efforts of this county Lean Six Sigma initiative.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. As Ms. Martinez indicated, the recommended action from the Standing Committee was to continue this initiative, but I think it's important for this full board and the public to understand and hear some information that was presented to the Standing Committee. Going forward, our Lean Six Sigma or continuous improvement efforts are going to be more focused on improvements that align with countywide goals and departmental goals. I think early on in any continuous improvement or Lean Six Sigma initiative, you try and establish a strong foundation for employees that have problem-solving skills. You want to increase employee morale and employee engagement and really have them focus on problem-solving skills. Although many of these efforts also improve service delivery to residents, again, the primary goal was employee engagement and morale and establishing that foundation. So going forward with the new training vendor, the focus is, again, to have direct impact on making services better and faster and directly tied to countywide goals and departmental goals. Thankfully, we did identify a training program that will not only reduce the cost of training, but be a much better approach to making this happen. The current training platform that we're changing to is called Change Agents Training. That's hard to say. This was founded by the executive for Denver Peak Academy, which is a continuous improvement effort for the city and county of Denver, and it was kind of a model for Kern County when we started several years ago. One of the benefits of it and why it'll cost less is it's training as you go. A lot of the prior training efforts we had an in-person consultant that we bought seats in advance. We had an online training program where we bought seats in advance. A lot of those seats, people would get enrolled, but would not complete it. The completion rate was relatively low. So we will only pay for those that are actually used, so that'll help us. I think another benefit to that is he comes from the public sector. Some of our other training providers had a private sector background and focused on that. So the public sector is basically a service delivery. We're not manufacturing, we're not producing Toyotas, and there's a focus on service delivery, which is adding value to our residents rather than reducing the cost of manufacturing a product. So that will be helpful as well. So I think this will save us money. It will focus more on what our employees do for our community, and will be the kind of effort going forward. And I think the main thing also, as you see on this graphic, is aligning what we want to do as a county with what departmental goals have and the everyday activities of staff, really aligning with all of those efforts. An example, real quick before I close, an example would be child support. Child support's been a model. Supervisor Couch had the honor of serving as a judge for a rapid improvement day we did, and child support was well represented there. One of the things they did as a Greenbelt project was reduce the time it took from getting a hiring list from HR, to getting people onboarded. They were losing people, they were losing opportunities to collect child support for non-custodial parents. And one of the goals of the county and their department was to make sure they collected that money for non-custodial parents. So aligning those daily activities with some of those departmental goals and countywide goals will kind of be the focus going forward with this training and this effort as we kind of evolve with Lean Six Sigma and moving forward. I'm happy to answer any questions at this point. Otherwise, I'm happy to turn it back to Ms. Martinez for the remainder of her presentation.
Very good. Jason, thank you. You're always just so marvelously articulate. Thank you. Elsa?
Okay. So before addressing the committee's second recommendation, I would like to give an overview of the county's current practices around operational reviews and audits. By law, the Board of Supervisors must audit all officers handling county funds at least every 2 years. Much of this work is delegated to the auditor-controller, who also reviews findings from independent auditors, grand jury, and other agencies. So as part of this oversight by the auditor-controller, we have the single audit, which goes beyond financial statements to assess internal control, compliance with laws, and adherence to federal program rules from the Uniform Guidance. This process helps ensure transparency, accountability, and trust in managing our public funds. And if you recall, Supervisor Perez, you had your interview recently as part of our outside audit. And this is done annually with the chair of the board.
That was quite intense.
The auditor-controller also conducts risk-based audits each year, addressing areas with potential fraud or waste, with plans reviewed by the audit committee and the board. We also have a fraud hotline that the public or our employees can report fraud, waste, or abuse. So in addition to internal audits, external agencies and consultants review departments for compliance and efficiency, especially with grant funding. For example, the Behavioral Health Department is currently being reviewed by Boston Consulting Group to address some of the significant changes they're having in funding. And your board has recently selected a consultant to review Child Protective Services. Together, these efforts reflect our strong commitment to responsible stewardship of county funds. During the committee meeting, our office also presented the different types of reviews to ensure that the most appropriate type of review is selected. There are multiple types of reviews, and they all have different reasons and outcomes. After reviewing the options, the committee recommends conducting targeted operational and organizational reviews of 3 key programs. And it's important to know that in order to do these reviews, we need to have the buy-in of the department heads and their staff. So we reach out as well to the department heads to kind of get their feedback. And we have the Department of Aging, with the different changes happening at the state level and the increased costs, they recommended that we review the nutrition program, where despite recent general fund contribution increases, reduced state and federal funding called for a careful review of workflow, resources allocation, and cost effectiveness. And so with all the investments that we have done on our parks and other facilities, we believe parks and facility maintenance is an area that should also be reviewed. This is a critical area to preserving recent infrastructure investments, and the review will examine staffing models, equipment use, outsourcing costs, and benchmarking against other municipalities. And finally, the referral addressed the budget, but we think it's an appropriate area to review. We need to assess how efficiently departments submit and review their budget requests, the quality of budget outputs, and the transparency and engagement of our community. So rather than a broad countywide review, this targeted approach allows for deeper insight and faster results, enabling us to respond quickly to issues while maintaining flexibility for future reviews. The objective of this review, any review would include an evaluation of operational workflows, cost effectiveness, assessments of utilization, and staffing efficiency. We need to benchmark with our peers. If your board approves the committee recommendations, we would like to develop a request for qualifications to secure expert consultants to conduct these program reviews with specific deliverables. Given the complexity of these evaluations, it is essential to engage firms with proven expertise who can deliver meaningful returns on investment. We have proposed a budget for these services that will not exceed $200,000, with invoices based only on requested services. Upon approval, the County Administrative Office will oversee the procurement process and work closely with selected consultants to ensure comprehensive and actionable reviews that will be presented to your board at a future meeting. We believe that this recommendation will position the county to manage taxpayers' resources responsibly, improve the service delivery, and we want to maintain transparency. We need to embrace the continuous improvement and targeted reviews. We believe we can serve our community and prepare for the future challenges that we have coming our way. This concludes my prepared remarks, and I look forward to your direction.
Wow. Elsa, thank you so much for your professionalism and your tireless work to address the board referrals that are endless and the criticisms of the public. You really are an astonishing public servant. Are there members of the public who would like to comment on the report as just provided? Please. Good afternoon and welcome. Please state your name for the record.
Good afternoon. My name again is Mary Helen Barrow. I live at 201 Jefferson Street. I've been active in CARA and several senior organizations for many years. I was very impressed with the report, but I just want everyone to keep in mind, sometimes seniors don't have enough food, and they need snacks in between because of the medication they take. So please keep that in mind in your evaluation. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your input. I'm going to be in touch with you about the trees, too. I'm your neighbor, so, I'm also your supervisor. But I'll be in touch with you. More importantly, we're friends, but we'll be in touch with you, okay? Thank you. Thank you. Any other members of the public? Okay. Back to the board. Supervisor Parlier. I'm so sorry. Supervisor Peters, were you plugged in first? Or was that from before?
I believe Supervisor Parlier was first.
Got it. Supervisor Parlier.
Who's on first? I just want to thank Supervisor Peters for bringing this item forward. I think it's just another effort to show the transparency of this county. I also want to thank staff for watching out for the taxpayer dollars and looking under every rock possible to ensure that that happens. And I relinquish back to my friend.
Supervisor Peters.
Thank you, Supervisor Parlier and Madam Chair. Well, I want to start with saying I appreciate the effort done on this, and I think it's a good start. I think Lean Six Sigma was a good idea when it was implemented, but just hearing some of the concerns I've heard in the public and making sure that we're being as prudent as we can be with taxpayer dollars, I honestly have had some concerns, and I'm reading through the staff report. Our Lean Six Sigma effort started in 2017, and it says that through 2020, 1,000 employees received at least some degree of training. We spent $450,000 during this period and achieved a direct savings of $250,000. There were also, so that's, I don't, is that gross cost savings, $250,000?
Supervisor Peters to the chair. The Lean Six Sigma project has both soft savings and hard savings. Those are actual cash savings. We have also significant soft savings. One of them that one project that I work with is our standardizing our supplies with a vendor. We used to spend about $25 million in office supplies, and by standardizing just the paper, like we didn't let departments buy, thick paper just to make photocopies, and that ended up in the trash. We standardized the payment. That was a soft. We call it soft, but it's quantifiable savings of $2 million. We put in there the hard cash savings only, but we also have soft savings from this process as well.
Okay, I appreciate that, and I think that's an important distinction to make because we want to reiterate to the public what we're doing. And just looking at the staff report, it just mentions the $250,000 plus there's some level of time savings. And there's also some concerns that, for the past 5 years, we've enrolled 2,000 employees, which was more than double the previous 3, but still, it's less than a quarter of our workforce. And of those enrolled, 90% never completed the training. In the first 3 years, there were 180 projects, but in the following 5 years, there were only 20, which was a 90% decrease in the amount of projects. And I'm also concerned with the efficiency review. My idea, at least, was to get a much more broad and sweeping look at not just our finances, but our best practices. And the program-specific reviews that were recommended to the committee, instead of a broad review, was the nutritional program for aging and adult, which is a portion of their $33 million budget. Parks and facilities maintenance, which is a portion of general services' $20 million budget. And the budget process itself, which is a fraction of CAO's $4.5 million budget. So the budget of all those departments adds up to 1.25% of our entire budget. And so a fraction of each of those is a fraction of 1% of our budget. I made this referral back in May, and just as a business owner, I don't see this as real meaningful improvements to our business practices, or at least a good hard look at what we're doing. I'm definitely not trying to call out any individual or department, but just from a taxpayer point of view, I think that considering an investment in some upfront program or review that's more broad, that's more encompassing, would have significant benefit and appreciation from the community. Just looking, like I said, at everything from our finances to our business practices. I know there's firms out there that work with businesses and with governments to find inefficiencies, to reduce waste, improve outcomes for customers, which is the public for us. And in my opinion, I think we'd be well served by getting a little bit more broad oversight or review by a firm that specializes in these types of opportunities for improvement. Thank you.
Supervisor Peters, if I may, one of the challenges with training employees is we try to make it a mandatory, and unfortunately, it's a negotiated item with our labor groups. They were not supportive of that effort, and although we can have the training, you can force people to finish the training. And that's unfortunate because I think it's a great opportunity, even for the employees, to improve their skill and promote. That's one of the reasons we changed the project completely from Lean Six Sigma. We scrapped what we were doing, and we found this different consultant because I think allowing the change champions, we have great employees in the county that are always looking for how to do things better. Another reason, the challenges with getting we discussed, as I mentioned, the type of reviews and the type of different consultants. I presented to the committee the different organizations that do the different type of reviews. And unfortunately, they're not cheap. I mean, if your board wishes to go that direction, Santa Barbara did, is one of the counties that did one. I found also Sonoma County did similar scope of you're looking at the range of $5 million just to get the consultant on board. But if your board wishes to do a wider scope, we're willing to change the request for qualification and make the scope of work wider, more county-wide, or if your board wishes to do a specific areas of the county, like department by department, we can change that as well. However, there's no guarantee that you're going to get a return on investment on $5 million. This approach, what we think is we get the qualifications of the consultants, ensure they're qualified to do the job. You can always add reviews to it. If you start big, it's hard to reduce. If you start small, you're always able to add more. That was the discussion with the committee.
I appreciate that, and I just, by way of example, you mentioned the soft savings just from switching paper suppliers was $2 million, and I think a $5 million investment with everything going on in the county, we could certainly find $5 million worth of savings there somewhere.
That was free, for the record. That was also for free, and toilet paper at the jail. They get the cheapest paper now. Thanks.
Perfect.
You're welcome.
And again, just as I said, not just finances, but best practices, looking at the culture of different departments and trying to get more customer-focused, customer-oriented. It's really disheartening. I know, like you said, we can't, require, without going through the negotiations, that anybody take this, but for only 2,000 employees to sign up and 90% of those not to complete, that's disheartening to hear, because this is an opportunity to help better serve the customer, which is the public of Kern County. So I don't have a specific recommendation at this moment, but I would like to see more broad considerations and be able to look at a little bit more of what's going on. But I will end my comments there and continue to work with you, Elsa, and the CAO's office behind the scenes just to come up with suggestions or potential projects.
So what is the recommendation? Supervisor Couch, we were on that body together. Can you weigh in, please?
Well, I just wanted to, Supervisor Peters brought up or mentioned the Lean Six Sigma, and I wanted to make a comment about that. What year did we start that? 2016?
Supervisor Couch, the chair, 2017.
So we should, I guess, redouble our efforts to encourage employees. It had some pushback originally, and then it kind of took off, and now it's waned a little bit. But we should promote it again to our employees, because my view is that did a lot of good. It gave our employees some ownership of their own job, and if they were going to be at that desk or in that function for any length of time, it allowed them to take a look at what they do, and it might have saved X amount of dollars. It might have saved more hard costs and soft costs, but it also, I think, and maybe this is, correct me if I'm wrong, but is the soft cost is what I'm going to describe included in soft costs. If you can, issue, I'm going to make up something, issue the permit in 4 days, instead of a week, or if you can cut down on the time of anything for our constituents. That's not a direct cost savings to us, hard or soft, I don't think, but it's better service to the people we're trying to serve. And so they could come at it from any angle they wanted to, whether they could save money, whether they could save time, whether they could just take some friction out of the whole process that we're engaged in. And we are engaged in, thousands of different processes with how we communicate or touch the public. I'm going to be supportive of your recommendation because I like your idea of starting small. I think this is a good addition to what many of us wanted to see with Lean Six Sigma. I think this is an additional way of looking at how we do some business, and if we can grow it from here, if we have a good experience with one of these consultants, taking a broader look down the road, we can certainly entertain that. But I'm not for spending $5 million at this point, or a large amount of money, in the hopes that we get some savings that exceed that. That was why I thought Lean Six Sigma was such a good idea. It was a relatively small amount of money that we were pretty certain we were going to see some savings and some process improvement. Anyway, those are my comments, and I'm supportive of you, and I appreciate your work on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Couch. Do you want to make a motion? I don't see anybody else punched in.
I'd be happy to make a motion on the staff's recommendation.
Okay, we have a motion on staff's recommendation. Any other input? Okay, do we have a second? Okay, we have a second from Supervisor Parlier. I also support your efforts. Again, thank you very much. Jason, thank you. We have a motion, a second. Please cast your votes, team.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Thank you, Supervisor Peters and colleagues. Okay, Jason, you're up again. Item number 17, which is an exciting moment for Kern County. I see our stalwart concerned citizens have been patient and gracious through a passionate and challenging afternoon. I think, you guys have so profoundly contributed to discourse in this county. We often see eye to eye, sometimes we don't. But this is one in which I think I've been transformed through the process of by your leadership and by what you have done to spark conversations here that has been truly remarkable. I've never seen anything like it in my tenure in 13 years. So I want to say, one, thank you for your patience this afternoon. Thank you for your grace to me in areas where we don't always see eye to eye. But I want to say thank you for being here at this late hour on what is a very exciting moment for Kern County in the improvement of service and in the response to concerned citizens and the public in general. So thank you. Jason, update on establishing a Department of Elections and separately appointed Registrar of Voters. Floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the board once again. October 2nd, 2025, let that record reflect. That was the day Governor Newsom signed Senate Bill 858, which allows Kern County to have a separately appointed Registrar of Voters effective January 1st, 2026. The current Registrar of Voters, Ms. Espinoza, has expressed that she will continue to serve in that role until her term ends December 31st, 2026. Therefore, based on that information, the earliest a newly appointed Registrar of Voters could preside over this function is January 1st, 2027. Your board can make an appointment prior to that, of course, but the new appointee would assume that role January 1, 2027, that Ms. Espinoza fulfills that responsibility through her term. So what we're doing now, and really ramping up since October 2nd through the first half of 2026, is really working with Ms. Espinoza and the Budget and Finance team to evaluate staffing levels and the need to create, add, delete positions to effectively staff independent Department of Elections. We're finalizing a job description and salary range for a Registrar of Voters, which will be a department head position. That description and salary range would come before your board in public session for review. And then obtain Civil Service Commission for any new or revised positions as part of the Department of Elections that are civil service positions. And then lastly, begin the recruitment process for a new Registrar of Voters, a recruitment process that would undergo the same recruitment process as any department head that reports to your board, which provides you some flexibility with how we do that. The last half of 2026, a lot of legal changes. We'll need to propose ordinances establishing a Department of Elections and a Registrar of Voters as the department head. We'll need to amend ordinances that refer to the auditor, controller, county clerk as having responsibilities for elections and serving as Registrar of Voters, and amend the civil service ordinance to exempt the Registrar of Voters position from the civil service position like we do with other department heads. So that's kind of a high-end look at some of the things that we're doing and will continue to do over the next 14 months to make this happen. I'm happy to answer any questions your board may have, and we'll stand by after public comment as well.
Thank you. So October 2nd was the date.
October 2nd.
October 2nd.
Yes.
Well, I want to say thank you to Governor Gavin Newsom for signing that bill. I wasn't sure what was going to happen on that. I was kind of nervous, I'll be honest. But because the subject itself was one that frankly kind of terrified me when we first approached it. And it wasn't, if it was not for profound education and looking at options here that we know can improve processes, that begin to see this as a viable and reasonable option for Kern County. And I want to tip my hat to members of the public who are here, and I hope will weigh in on this exciting moment for starting this process and for urging, cajoling, shaming the Board of Supervisors into taking serious action here. So thank you. I'm going to open up the public portion of this hearing to ask for input from the public to come and celebrate this moment or slander us or whatever. That's all on the table. Good to see you, Shin.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, to the supervisors. God bless America. SHINN. This is a great day. There are many improvements that we can still identify, and I hope to show in our meeting in November. We have thousands and thousands of people on our voter rolls that have moved years and years ago. We're wasting thousands of dollars filling the landfill with ballots that can be sold or traded on the open market out in the communities when folks want to just exercise extra authority to vote for raising my taxes or imposing more regulations on me. I want to thank the board. I want to thank our two favorite supervisors. It was a tough row to hoe. Yes. And very, very brave. Anyway, I'm very happy. So hopefully we can continue to march on this because our voter rolls demand nothing but perfection. And hopefully we can get there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shin. Two favorites. No Brown Act violation here, so very good. Oh, good point, Supervisor Couch.
Mary
Hello.
Helen Barrow again. I am so happy. I stuck around for this because I think this is a huge milestone. I want to remind everybody involved to remember that we are a very diverse community. We have a lot of limited English-speaking voters. So we need to translate some of the ballots and the instructions especially, and provide whatever support voters need so that they fully understand their rights and their responsibilities and the issues on the ballots. And I've worked on this for decades, so if I can be of any help, I'll even volunteer my services. You don't have to pay me, so it'll save taxpayer money because I'm equally fluent in English and Spanish, and I've worked with both this local, state, federal, and also I led 3 international trade delegations to Mexico and Central America for the United States. So I'm used to working across cultural lines. So any help I can be, because people that come, immigrants that come to our country, They may be familiar with what's happening in their home country, but we have to educate them as to what we do here. It's the same thing I've been working on. I'm a credentialed teacher, and same thing with the school systems. You know, things in other countries are done differently, so we have to make sure that when they move here, that they fully understand how wonderful everything is in our great United States of America. And thank you for all you do. I'm so happy about this project.
Thank you, Mary Helen.
Thank you.
Any other members of the public want to weigh in on this matter? I was shocked to see Dennis already not down here. He's a champion of this moment.
Dennis McLean, MC, capital L-E-A-N. I want to thank the board for following through for this issue. Our committee has been fighting or pushing it for 4 years, and this is gonna, the big picture is probably gonna put more responsibility on the board, because you're gonna have to oversee what's going on. Somebody's gonna have to look at all the voter rolls and make sure it's more accurate, because it's a shame right now. So I want to thank you again, and there's more work to be done, but I'm sure we'd be glad to help you guys in the future. Thank you.
I know you will, Dennis. Thank you. I know you will. Any other members of the public? Okay, I'm going to close this. Return to first my colleague, Supervisor Couch, and thank him for this remarkable partnership and all the brain power and time that he put into this. I think it was really a stunning partnership that manifested in this moment, really, that began from members of the public very concerned. So thank you, Supervisor Couch.
Thank you.
If you have any thoughts?
No?
If you want to compliment me, now would be the time to do that.
Well, by all means. No, I thought we worked well together, and I thought the public did an excellent job of helping us understand what they were after, and
it was fun.
It was government. It was the government the way it's supposed to work. And now, I'm going to express my fear. I really hope we're able to find a qualified, talented person to fulfill this role. When will that, Jason, remind me before we get out of here? We're going to open that up. Well, first we have to
I think
create the position.
Early 2026, try and get a job description and salary range before your board, and then later that first quarter, probably talk about a recruitment plan and how you want to approach the recruitment, whether we've used vendors, recruitment firms in the past, HR staff, et cetera, and see what the best option is for your board to get that best person.
It could take us a while, but if the right person falls in our lap early on, are we going to be able to hire them at any stage in that process, budget-wise?
Supervisor Couch, through the chair, we just need to add the position. So once we get the job spec established, after that, and then there are some budgetary things that we need to evaluate and shifting some stuff around. But once it's established and we have the appropriations set up by your board, then we can move forward. And I believe that Ms. Espinoza has offered to help, educate and get them acclimated to the staff and in the areas of which they would be taken over. So if we can cross them on with some time, it'd be helpful.
Thank you. Thanks, Jason.
Thanks, Supervisor. I was hoping for more of a compliment, but I guess I'll just have to take my humble
Well, I wasn't really
comes.
prepared. I'll work something up and be ready next time.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so what is the recommendation here?
I just need a motion.
It's
to
just an
receive and
update?
file.
Okay, so we need a motion to receive and file.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. We have a motion by Supervisor Peters, I believe, and a second by Supervisor Flores. Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Okay. Lastly, a bit of good news. We have a report, a very exciting report, on selected awardees for the Kern Biz Facade Improvement Grant Program, which has been just an incredible experience to go through together, to have the excitement of awardees. And have them submit their hopes and dreams and, have us make choices that I think has been a very fair and awesome process. So I'm excited about this report. Thank you for your patience, and to the members of the public, because this is really good news and a nice way to end a long day. Stacy, floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the board. I'm just going to hand it right over to my incredible staff, Jasmine Hernandez, who's been doing this to provide this report.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the board. My name is Jasmine Hernandez with the County Administrative Office. Thank you all for waiting. Today, I'm pleased to provide an overview and report for the Kern Biz Facade Improvement Grant Program for fiscal year 2025-2026. The county partnered with Project Development Solutions to launch this pilot initiative, which is aimed at revitalizing local commercial corridors, strengthening small business, and enhancing appearance and safety of our communities. The program offers competitive one-time grants of up to $10,000 for business and property owners to enhance their storefronts that will make lasting improvements. $40,000 has been allocated to each district for a total of $200,000 in grant funding. Eligible projects fell into 3 categories, which include exterior facade improvements, site enhancements, and security improvements. Each project type was designed to promote visible community benefit, deter crime, and enhance overall public safety. The evaluation committee included representatives from the County Administrative Office, Public Works, and Project Development Solutions. The committee reviewed all 59 eligible applications using a transparent and fair scoring process. Applications were assessed on the scoring criteria outlined in the Kern Biz guidelines, which includes project readiness, community benefit, budget, small business growth, and administrative capacity. Funded improvements include parking lot repairs and ADA upgrades, installation of modern signage and lighting, exterior painting and window replacements, and the addition of fencing and security systems. Many projects focus on restoring long vacant or aging buildings to transforming them into functional spaces ready for expanded business activity. Other projects prioritize revitalizing active storefronts to create safer, more welcoming environments. These projects are strengthening our business community by deterring vandalism while supporting local contractors. These projects also demonstrate how strategic investment in small business infrastructure can generate lasting economic and visual improvements throughout Kern County. The full project awards summary list is available on our economic development website. Ultimately, 23 projects were selected for funding across all districts. The county grant funding was matched by $63,670 in business contributions, for a total project investment of $200,670. This cost share demonstrates the commitment of our local small business owners to improving their properties and further multiplying the county's investment. 23 small businesses have been selected to receive Kern Biz Grant Awards. On August 19th, 2025, your board approved the Kern Biz Grant Agreement template, which will be used to finalize project agreements. All awarded projects are required to be completed within 6 months of execution. All awardees have been notified. The next steps include executing agreements, securing any necessary permits, and finalizing contractor quotes to move projects forward. We would like to complete the full process of the program and assess overall outcomes for this pilot round. We thank everyone who applied and do anticipate additional economic development funds to be available next fiscal year for another round of the Kern Biz Facade Improvement Grant Program. Today, we have some of our awardees here, and we'd like to congratulate them on their projects. We'd also like to thank Project Development Solutions for their partnership. We request that your board receive and file the report of selected awardees for the Kern Biz Facade Improvement Grant Program. Thank you.
Well, we had the opportunity to speak to some of the awardees, and that was really, it was like something from a reality show that we just don't usually have moments like that where you call people, and, you won! It was just really cool because these are upgrades and uplifts for the entire community, and they're going to improve commercial activity, safety. You know, it's just really nice when things look nicer. They drive commercial activity. They drive a sense of feeling of safe, a sense of community, and so this was really, really cool. It's nice to call people and give good news. It's just not always the case. So this was an exciting, really cool project, very meaningful. I'm excited to see the upgrades and see, bring back to the board before and after and show the many creative ways in which our county family is working to, improve our commercial climate. So really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Supervisor Parlier, you had something to say?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, hopefully we can expand this program in the future. I'm really excited about this, and I want to give staff a compliment. Some districts are pretty consolidated. District 2 is not. I mean, it's very expansive. And staff were very cognizant of ensuring that each corner of my district had a piece of this, and I just want to thank you for that.
Anyone else want to say anything here?
Yeah, I'd just like to say thank you as well to staff. This is a really, really exciting program. It's awesome that we were able to do this, and hopefully it's something we can continue in the future. I think it's going to help our communities a lot, and congratulations to some of our awardees. I see Fred Clark out there and John Blythe, and appreciate you guys, what you do for the community, and hopefully this is something helpful. Thanks.
It really is. So congratulations to all of you. You got an earful this afternoon. So I'm sure you could appreciate how nice it is to end on this note and to have your participation, to believe in your government, and to know that we're giving back to you with all that you do. It's just really a nice moment. And so I'm very happy for you.
Chair?
Yes.
Would it be appropriate we applaud for them?
Yes, please. I would like that. And continue improving our community and continue taking the risks that you do, hiring people, creating jobs, all of it. It's just really, really awesome. You're really supported by this body, and of course you have very creative county family members that are looking for ways to help you, encourage you, and lift you up. So it's a good moment. What do we need to do here?
Motion to receive and file.
Motion to receive and file,
So
please.
moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please cast your ballots. Your votes, I mean. Little slip there.
The
Dennis,
motion
you
is
caught
approved,
that?
all ayes.
Okay, long day. That brings us to the end of our day. We are not here next Tuesday, but we will be back November 4th. I hope you have a safe and happy Halloween, however you celebrate that, if you do. And we look forward to seeing you back on November 4th, and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you.